Well, in the summer in Arlington, Texas, it is hot, but still plenty of time to go outside, play a little sports, and come on in and watch some baseball. Why not at Globe Life Park? It's hot, but it's a gorgeous night for some Tuesday baseball on Fox Sports 1. It's the Yankees and the Rangers tonight. Well, the Yankees have been red hot. What a July they have had. First place now in the American League, and their lead is now up to 7 games over the Blue Jays and the Orioles. It's been quite the month. 15-5 for the Yankees. Best record in the major leagues in this month of July. Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Tom Verducci joins me in just a second. And for the Yankees, yeah, basically everything has gone right. When you consider that they came into the month a half game out, they were in third place, though, in the AL East. So, yeah, they've won 15 games. That is the most in the league. And now they have quite the lead. They're hitting well. They're pitching better. There's a lot of good stories with this team, Tom. We bring you in, but there's nothing better than the story of Alex Rodriguez, because at first it was, hey, he's back, he's having a nice start. Now it's almost become astonishing what Alex Rodriguez is doing.
It's a story that has gone from intriguing to incredible. And yes, he has 24 home runs, but what's incredible is how hard that he's hitting the baseball. Last weekend in Minnesota, upper tank with one of his 3 home runs. This was measured 450 feet. He said, I feel like I'm back in my 20s again. And last night, how about this for a birthday present? Turning 40, opposite field. Now look at this pitch. It's a 3-1 sinker from Matt Harrison. The top hand actually will come off the bat. That pitch is not even in the strike zone, and yet he takes it out of the park the other way. It's really been a fascinating month for the Yankees. No one has been hotter than Alex Rodriguez. It's how far he's hitting the baseball and how hard he's hitting the baseball that really is astonishing.
He has been their MVP, 9 home runs this month, and it'll keep going for Alex Rodriguez in the lineup at designated hitter tonight. How about for the Texas Rangers? Why, it's been the comeback year for A-Rod, obviously, out of the game last year with the PED suspension. Here's Prince Fielder. Here's the guy that came over in the big trade from Detroit last year for Ian Kinsler, and it was a wash, Tommy. He was hurt. He had neck surgery. It just wasn't there. Well, now he's come back. He's second in the AL in batting average.
Well, another comeback of the year player candidate, right? Fielder, to me, you always knew that he never gets cheated on his swings. And this year, this is surprising. Leading the American League with 90 singles. Still has the power with the 15 home runs. And Kevin, he loves hitting against the Yankees. This season, he's hitting .500 against New York.
Yeah, I guess he's looking forward to tonight then. Meanwhile, pitching-wise, look, that's been the Rangers' Achilles heel. They've got the worst team ERA in baseball in this month of July. But it's all about injuries. Matt Harrison pitched for them last night. He's coming back from spinal fusion surgery. And then Martin Perez gets the call tonight, just his 3rd start back from Tommy John.
This is a tough assignment. Yeah, he called it. Only his 3rd start. He's still not super sharp yet. And this pitching staff, leaking oil, needs a good start from him, and yet he's going up against a red-hot offense. His entire game, keep the ball down. If he gets it up, it'll be a short night for Perez.
His first start here at Globe Life Park, hasn't faced the Yankees yet. Chris Capuano will get the call for the Yanks in a spot start tonight. It's hot in Texas. Some baseball coming your way. Yankees and Rangers up next on Fox Sports 1. dipped under 100. It's cooling off at night, so bring your jackets if you're coming to the yard.
Cold
tonight.
front coming through.
Hey, that's what you get, man. It's July and it's Texas, and it actually hasn't been that bad here according to the locals this summer. But now you're getting to that time where it's going to be 100 degrees quite a bit, and the Rangers actually have the most home games left in the major leagues, so they will be getting used to it.
And I'm looking at this area here in front of the plate. You see that dark area there?
Yeah.
That is wet. Now, why is it so wet? Well, you got Martin Perez on the mound. You're the home team. You control the field conditions in that regard. And Perez, when he's on, sinker, changeup, is a ground ball specialist. Actually, 2 different changeups we'll see today from Martin Perez. Now, if that's not worn out in front of the plate, then that's going to be a rough night for Perez.
My only question would be, in this heat, how long does it stay wet? About 10 minutes? First inning, maybe? That's about it. As the Rangers do take the field and looking to get back at the Yankees after New York got the win 6-2 last night in the opener of this 4-game series. As Martin Perez against this Yankee lineup. Ellsbury's back in there today. Did not play last night. He kind of jammed his arm and shoulder, making a great catch in Minnesota, but he came in the game late as a defensive replacement. He's fine and leading off tonight.
Well, the Yankees are like a boxer that comes out swinging the first bell. They score more runs in the first inning than any team in baseball. When you look at that lineup, you can see why. Ellsbury and Gardner, left-handers don't bother them. Of course, Alex Rodriguez, I think it's 98 being hot. He's hotter than 98 right now.
Yeah, he is. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching for Brian McCann tonight. This heat, you figured they would split the catching duties up. And there you go. As those guys getting ready, Ellsbury and Gardner. And time now for our Mobile One pitcher profile. There is Martin Perez, 24 years old, signed out of Venezuela in 2007 and making his return to Arlington after Tommy John surgery.
I mentioned the 2 changeups. He has a 4-seam changeup that will run away, have more horizontal movement than vertical. That's for hitters like Gardner and Ellsbury with flat swings. Guys who swing up on the baseball like Teixeira, he has a 2-seam changeup which has more of a downward movement.
See the Rangers in the field with Odor and Andrews at shortstop. Brua getting the start in left field, so no Josh Hamilton, who gets an off day today. Kind of interesting. Talking to Jeff Bannister earlier, and you asked him how you make up the lineup, because the Yankees are starting Chris Capuano, and he's not expected to really go past 3 innings. It's going to be one of those bullpen games, so I guess we shall see how it works out for Texas.
It is interesting because you figure Joe Girardi has Adam Warren, a right-hander, behind Capuano. Almost like a spring training game. I think if he gets 3 or 4 innings out of Capuano, he'll be happy.
Yeah. Joe Girardi in his 8th year. We take a look at our Lincoln Motor Company keys to the game.
Did I mention it's hot?
You did. Okay. I did, too.
We're going to stay on the theme here for the Yankees. Ride the heat wave. 8 home runs in the last 3 games. 4 of them by Alex Rodriguez. For Texas, avoid the Yankee heat late in the game out of the bullpen. Now, Dellin Betances probably will not be used tonight, but you still have Andrew Miller out there.
Trying to get any shade possible. Yeah, the way the Yankees have this game structured out, the reason why Chris Capuano is starting is they're trying to be very careful with Masahiro Tanaka. It was his start today, so they're pushing everybody back. So they're going to hope that Capuano and a host of bullpen arms can get him through. But first, they'll face Martin Perez, and Jacoby Ellsbury steps in to start it off for the Yankees here in Arlington. And we're underway with a first pitch strike. Ellsbury 292, 3 home runs and 15 RBIs. It's been cool, though, since coming back from the disabled list.
Actually, they gave him a break last night. He ran into a wall and kind of had some inflammation in the shoulder. Good to go tonight.
He takes that one. It did not go around. So 2-1 to Ellsbury. Yeah, 213 with a 231 on base in 15 games since coming back from the DL. But team's gone 12-3. So while he's trying to find his stroke, Yankees have been just fine. 2-1. And it's 2-2 to Jacoby Ellsbury. And actually got him there. So Ellsbury's going to take the base.
That was a catcher's interference. The glove got knocked off of Robinson Chirinos on the swing by Ellsbury. It's kind of a long swing, long flat swing, Ellsbury. Watch Chirinos reach.
Oh, yeah.
And that's an E2, catcher's interference.
So that's a bizarre way to start the game. With Ellsbury on first base, obvious speed. And now Brett Gardner will step in there for the Yanks. Gardner in his first All-Star season. And he's really been great. 292 overall, 23 doubles, 10 home runs. And now Perez will have to watch Ellsbury. Hasn't had a steal since coming back from the DL, but combination of his speed and Chirinos, the Texas catcher, has not done well throwing runners out.
Yeah, and Perez, important there to get ahead, strike one. He told me that was the key to pitching to the Yankee lineup. Work ahead. And the reason that's so important with these Yankee hitters, they're so good at getting into hitters' counts. And they will absolutely destroy any pitching when they get to those situations. Really have to be aggressive, and with Perez coming off the surgery, command is something you'll have to watch for.
Gardner pops it up. Andrus on his horse, and it's going to fall in. Just foul. Just foul. A long run for Elvis Andrus, and Ryan Rua couldn't get there either. We'll do it again.
No man's land right here. That left field, by the way, early in the game for the first 1 or 2 innings, a very difficult position to play. You see Rua with the glasses on. The sun directly in the left fielder's eyes.
Yeah, the sun just kind of comes over the stadium and just shocks you there.
So you want to play left field?
Not here.
Not for another half hour or so.
No thanks. So it's 1-2 to Brett Gardner. Second batter of the game. And that one is down low. You talked about the couple changeups by Perez. So far in his 2 starts back, his fastball velocity has kind of been where it is. He's not a guy that's going to hit 95, 96 in the gun. He's around 91, 92.
You'll see him hit 93 sometimes, maybe 94. That was a changeup right there. Just a great job by Gardner to stay off of that pitch.
It's a 2-2, and they'll check on Ellsbury. Well, we know this about Gardner. He is as patient as anybody in the league. He takes 63% of the pitches that he sees. That's the second most in the game. So he's happy to stay up and work the count.
I'll tell you one thing he's also good at: foul balls, getting to other pitches by spoiling pitches.
Here, though, down on strike. So Perez gets the strikeout, and there's one down. And that'll bring up Alex Rodriguez, who turned 40 last night and celebrated by hitting an opposite field home run. The fans in Texas still happy to remind him that they don't think very fondly of him, do they?
No, they don't. Last night, the first time he's been back in this ballpark since April of 2012. Just in case they forgot who he was, introduced himself with that home run.
1 for 5 last night for Alex with that home run to right, and he takes inside for ball 1. 276 on the year, 24 home runs. He and Teixeira tied for the team lead. And it's inside, 2-0.
What I really like about Alex in his setup this year, he's gone to a very relaxed position at the plate. He will set that bat on his shoulder. He really doesn't get into a good load position until the pitcher begins to show him the pocket of his pants.
Takes a rip there, and it's 2-1. Ellsbury's not taking a very aggressive lead, by the way, so doesn't appear to be runnerish right now.
Watch it again. See, relaxed, and now he's ready to go. That's something that's new this year for him. No tension in his swing from the very get-go.
2-1, and it's 3-1. What did it used to be for him?
You know, he would get his hands up into that load position right away, and sometimes, especially with runners on base, you know, a pitcher is going to vary his hold times, and you can stand there like a statue in a hitting position while the pitcher is holding the baseball. Now you wait till the pitcher's ready to go, then you get your hands ready.
3-1 Rodriguez here with Ellsbury off first. One down in the first. Caught the corner with a fastball, and a count goes full.
You call it. Great position right here with this pitch. Nips the outside corner of the plate. Trying to use both sides of the plate on Alex. Throwing a lot of sinkers in this at bat. Let's see if he works to the changeup.
They'll check on Ellsbury, but again, he barely has a lead over there. Just kind of keeping him close. With Teixeira on deck. 3-2 to Rodriguez. Left side, Andrews to one. Odor, and can't be handled at first base.
Well, Perez did go to the changeup. 3-2, got exactly what he wanted. Got Alex to get out in front of that and roll this over. This should be a tailor-made double play because Alex's lack of speed down the line. Odor's throw really should have been handled by Moreland. Wasn't a great throw. That's where you need your first baseman to pick you up.
Yeah. Rougned Odor. So they get the fielder's choice to Rodriguez. And now it's Teixeira. And Teixeira, first pitch swinging. Shallow right. Shin Soo-Choo in, and that's it. So the Yankees get the leadoff runner on. They fail to score. Rangers coming up. .36-year-old Chris Capuano making the start for the Yanks. Been a while. It's his fourth start of the year. And he's in there. They're trying to give the rotation a little breather. And so Capuano gets a start. Probably won't go very long today. His 16th game, fourth start. Jeff Bannister in his first year managing the Rangers this year. As Delino DeShields, the center fielder, will start it off for Texas. And it's upstairs for ball one. DeShields has been a nice little spark plug for this team at the top of the order. Rule 5 guy, came over from the Astros. And that's 2-0. And he's really, Tom, taken away Leonis Martin's job. Martin played last night, but he's gotten the bulk of the playing time and primarily has been their leadoff man now for the last 6 weeks.
Well, as you can see, both corner infielders playing up. He leads the league in bunt hits. That opens up a lot of territory.
There's a strike. He's got incredible speed. He stole over 100 bases in the minors a couple years ago.
I like that term that Jeff Bannister used, usable speed. You know, some guys are fast, don't know how to use it, but the way he can bunt and run the bases, he does.
Oh, it's usable. And he takes that one in the dirt. So it's 3-1 as Capuano falls behind the first batter. On the way, and it's upstairs, ball 4. Not the guy you want to put on to start this game. So DeShields with the leadoff walk, and the rest of the Rangers order with Odor coming to the plate right now. Fielder, talked about him in the open. DH, he's your cleanup hitter tonight. And then Rua gets a start in left field. No Josh Hamilton to start this game. The 89th different lineup by the Rangers, second most in the league. So they mix and match.
And right away, Capuano will have to go to work on both Odor and DeShields.
Yeah. DeShields, told you about his base running at a speed. 16 of 19 stealing bases this year. Capuano's always had a pretty good move in his career.
Well, what stands out for me is when DeShields gets on base, he scores 49% of the time. That's an incredibly high rate.
Odor takes it. And there's a strike. Told you about the spark he's given the Rangers leading off. Again, he's been doing it for about the last 6 weeks, and you see it. 5.25 runs a game when he's in there. 3.8 when he's not. He's made a big difference. And again, they'll look at him. And I mentioned Rule 5 for those that don't know what that means. You have the Rule 5 draft where you could take players that are exposed from other teams' roster, but the key is, Tom, to keep him, he has to stay on the major league roster for the entire year. Not an easy thing to do,
especially for a position player. You can sort of hide a bullpen guy throughout the course of a season. He's earned it.
Look again.
Boy, I tell you, Capuano, look at Teixeira. I mean, that was such a good move. Probably a cutter he threw to first base that surprised even Teixeira. He's thrown about 3 different moves at DeShields already. Watch, he'll hang the leg a little bit, step over there, and whoop, got handcuffed.
Like, that was pretty good. This one coming home, and Odor watches it sail low and away. Odor's an interesting story too for Texas. So you consider he's so young. He's only 21 years old. He was sent down to AAA. He was hitting 144, one of the worst in the game at the time. Since he's come back, he's hitting 352. He's got the 4th best OPS in the game.
And you saw the difference right there, taking pitches out of the zone.
This one gets into it. Young. One away. And so that'll bring up Adrian Beltre now. A little bit of a down year for Beltre so far this year. 256 overall. Just 7 home runs, 25 RBIs. He's been banged up too. I mean, he's had a thumb injury, and trying to swing a bat with that, who knows how it's really healed or not healed.
Yeah, he's been fighting that virtually all season. This should be a matchup to his liking, though. He's one of the best low ball hitters in the big leagues, especially the ball down and in.
And he rips this one deep to center. Ellsbury has room, makes the catch. He hit that one pretty well, but Ellsbury tracked it in the ballpark, held it, and there's 2 away.
Well, this is something we'll watch throughout this game here. This is the best first ball swinging team in all of baseball. And Capuano, that pitch is up. Far too high from where Capuano wanted this changeup, but Capuano is throwing career high percentage of strikes on first pitches. So look for the Rangers continue to be aggressive early in counts.
So after the leadoff walk, Capuano's gotten the next 2, and now he's got to deal with Prince Fielder, the DH. And Fielder takes a breaking ball. Fielder, we talked about it, Tom. It's pretty amazing, and not only coming back from the injury, but leads the league in hits, leads the American League in singles. You don't think of that with Prince Fielder. You think of balls that go 460 feet.
Well, he's got a lot of hits of all kinds this year.
Look at DeShields. Does have 15 home runs and 58 RBIs. That's a lot of base hits right there. His 90 singles, only Alex Gordon has more.
I mean, he's used everything in the manual on how to throw a pickoff to first base. Right there, that was the high lay kick. You hold it, you go to first base. You've seen the quick step over. You've seen everything but that step back off the back of the rubber and quick throw to first base.
2-0 to Prince Fielder.
It's a little bit different lineup for the Rangers against left-handed pitching. Elvis Andrus protecting Prince Fielder. Only his 7th start in 5-hole. All of them this year. That's not your ideal guy to protect Fielder.
Yeah, last night they had 5 of the first 6 hitters as left-handed bats against Ivan Nova. 2-0. And there you go. That's a strike. The fastball from Capuano. Josh Hamilton not in there tonight. He's been a slow go since coming back from the DL. He certainly hasn't found his stroke at all. Should point out there, Fielder has hit well against Capuano. He's hit well against the Yanks in general this year. It's a 2-1. Fastball misses, so it's 3-1 to Fielder. Three-1 from Capuano. And it's low and away. Ball 4. 2 walks in the inning for Capuano, and the Rangers with a 2-out threat, and that will bring up Elvis Andrus.
Joe Girardi looked like he didn't like it, but pitch selection, 3-1 slider. Again, it gets back to protection in the lineup. Just have to make sure you get the next hitter when you do something like that, missing with a 3-1 slider.
And it will be Andrus, who was the 2-hitter for this team for a long time, but has been dropped down and has been better of late. He's had a better July than he had earlier in the year. And now a chance for the Rangers to turn the tables on the Yanks, who always seem to have the first inning lead. Scoreless in the bottom of the first with 2 down. And a big swing and a miss there. Took something off to Capuano. You talked about the 5th spot. It's only the 6th time in Andrus' career he's here, so it's a little strange territory for him.
Yeah, I like this idea here. We talked about first ball, fastball hunting with the Rangers. Start him off with the changeup.
Why not? Andrus had a double last night, 1 for 3, and the Yankees 6-2 win. Back up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. DeShields with his speed will come on in and score. And the Rangers take an early 1-0 lead on the RBI single from Elvis Andrus.
They tried to double up with the changeup. This one not nearly as well located. Watch this one above the knees, almost belt high. Easy pickings for Andrus. And as you mentioned, even on a one-hop liner to center field, that's an easy run for DeShields.
So the leadoff walk to DeShields comes back to haunt Capuano, and the Rangers are on the board.
Probably got that run scoring percentage up to 50%.
It's getting there. He's got an 8-game hitting streak now, does Andrus. Meanwhile, here's Mitch Moreland, first baseman for Texas. Moreland takes the breaking ball. Low, inside, ball one. Moreland's having a really good year. A really solid year. 287, 17 doubles, 16 home runs. And he's a bargain. He's only making $2.5 million. And it's 2-0.
You can see how the Yankees defend him, even against the left-hander. Dead pull hitter. Get the ball also up the middle, which is why Gregorius, the shortstop, is shaded over behind the bag. He's got 2 singles to left field the entire season.
So they're playing the odds, is what you're telling me.
They got the info.
He has been good in these spots. Watches that one. The fastball missing. And Capuano, big issue with the strike zone. He's already walked 2. And now it's 3-0 to Moreland.
Yeah, clearly struggling with command. He's thrown only 80 pitches this entire month. Has not been on the mound much at all.
.30 pitch. That catches a strike zone. Yeah, he had a 30-pitch Capuano, a 30-pitch outing in Minneapolis over the weekend on Friday in the game the Yankees lost. But it's been slow going. He hasn't pitched much. He hasn't started again since May. You see the big shift. 3-1 to Moreland. And that one's going to find the seats. 21 pitches for Capuano in this first inning, 12 of them balls. He's already had 3 3-ball counts. And why is the pitch thing significant in the first inning? Because this is a bullpen game. And what do you think you have for him today? 60-ish pitches?
Yeah, that'd be on the high side. Right now he's just trying to limit the damage here in the first inning. That last pitch, a sinker, again above the belt. Really struggling with his command. He does not have a go-to pitch right now, and he needs one right here, full count.
Moreland, 313 runners in scoring position this year. Full count, 2 down. And it's the 3rd walk of the inning for Capuano. And here comes Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach. Oh, it's about the opposite of what the Yankees wanted here. As the pitch count keeps on climbing.
Well, he's wild both in the zone and out of the zone. And kind of got away with a mistake to Adrian Beltre. Didn't get away with one to Elvis Andrus. And right there, not able to execute a strike to Moreland. And again, this is where you have to be really careful. You need to throw a quality strike here. I know bases loaded. You want to be aggressive as a pitcher. But the Rangers will jump all over if you just think, okay, sinker, let me get ahead, establish strike one. Rangers concede nothing when it comes to strikes early in the count.
And it'll be up to Ryan Rua. He's got the bases loaded here. He actually started the year as the Rangers' opening day left fielder and then hurt his ankle 5 games in. Starting for Josh Hamilton tonight. And that one's in the dirt. Capuano really struggling.
Just does not have a feel for that changeup. You know, normally you'll find something. The sinker, the slider, the changeup, but right now he is struggling with all of his pitches.
Yeah, and that changeup's his go-to too. That's a problem. 23 pitches already. Rua's got power. He had 32 home runs a couple years ago in the minor leagues. Takes a big swing. And now he'll call time. .1-0. And it's 2-0. He's trying it all time. It's just nothing is taken right now.
And they're not close enough to even tempt the Texas hitters. Right here, if you're Rua, you are just keyholing something, probably middle in. Make him get the ball up, of course.
Here's the 2-0. Jammed him, and it's 2-1. Capuano working hard. 3 walks in the inning. Rangers have an RBI single from Elvis Andrus to jump on top of the Yanks. They're the signs to Rua. Here comes the 2-1. And it's 2-2.
A little too aggressive by Rua right there. Really, that chase right there and a fastball, to me, looked like a ball right out of the hand. Gets Capuano back into the count. Huge difference in this situation. 3-1, 2-2. Watch the location of this pitch. And the glove of Murphy. Look how far he has to reach for that.
Young player trying to make a big impact early. And now it's 2-2. 2 down, bases loaded. Rua to left. Gardner in. Not going to get it. It falls in. Fielder scores. Andrews scores. And the Rangers have a 3-0 first inning lead.
Well, pitching without command and now without luck. Jams Rua. You see it. It's off the barrel, but hit well enough to drop it in there, parachuting into no man's land.
There's Beltre and Josh Hamilton. Hey, my replacement's doing all right.
That's my guy.
There you go. So the 25-year-old Rua comes through with a big hit with 2 down. And now it's Shin-Soo Choo, 8th man to hit in the inning. And he takes strike 1. Choo has had a hard time against left-handers this year, just 164. All right, Rothschild just hoping Capuano can find his way out of this inning.
Well, the Yankees knew this was going to be a bullpen game. They just don't want it to be a bullpen game this early.
Down low. And it's 1-1 to Choo.
Long time, huh?
All right, it's been a while for Perez. We'll see how he reacts. One to Choo. And he rips it to right field. That's going to be a base hit, maybe extras too. Here comes 1 run coming on in. Young gets the relay home and they'll stop there. It's an RBI double for Shin-Soo Choo, and the Rangers are pouring it on Chris Capuano here in the first.
You mentioned all the difficulties Choo has had against left-handed pitching this year. Capuano tries to get the ball in, just doesn't get that sinker in far enough.
Well, the Yankees did not want to get the bullpen up now. They know it's going to be up the whole game. And you'd think the conventional thinking is Adam Warren would be the next guy, but it's a tough spot right here if you're Joe Girardi, isn't it?
It is, especially because you know that both Dellin Betances and Justin Wilson probably not available because he does not use his relief pitchers 3 days in a row.
Here's the catcher, Robinson Chirinos. It's still time to do damage as he takes ball 1 with 2 on. So the Rangers have done their damage here with 2 outs. Started with Andrus with a 2-out single and then a walk to Moreland. The 2-run base hit from Ryan Rua. And then Choo with the RBI double. 2-0.
Well, this entire inning was set up by the walk to DeShields. And we talked about all the attention he gave DeShields over there. But more importantly, you see that pitch count there, 32 pitches, extremely high for 1 inning. All but the 5 pitches to DeShields have been thrown out of the stretch. So every pitch has been a stress pitch this inning for Capuano. You can almost multiply that 32 by 1.5.
Yeah. Meanwhile, 2-0 to Chirinos, the Rangers catcher. And now it's 3-0. And Chirinos has some power. Kind of ironic. He's got 24 singles this year, and he's got 24 extra base hits this year too. So you can't necessarily just groove one to him.
You saw Capuano just walk off the back of the mound and have a little conference with himself.
A 33-pitch first inning. 3-0 to Robinson Chirinos. 2 on, 2 down. There's a strike.
Well, they didn't want to pick up that phone, but yes, we got to that point.
Foul straight back.
Joe Girardi, Chris Capuano is hoping for something here on the 3-2 count. Not a guy who gets swings and misses, hoping for weak contact.
36th pitch of the inning in the 3-2. And Chirinos stays alive. Tough for Capuano. He knows he hasn't pitched, so he knows he's only got a certain amount of bullets to use. And just fighting for anything here, and he's already approaching 40 pitches in the first.
Well, think about, as a lawyer might say, the mitigating circumstances. We talked about how he has been out there rarely this month. We talked about the heat at the top of the show. That's factoring in.
Again, the payoff, 3-2. And it's in the dirt, ball 4. Meanwhile, while the Rangers continue to rally, we've got our first game break. Let's go back to L.A. with Chris Myers. Whoa. Perfect game through 6 for Syndergaard. How about that?
I immediately thought of Terry Collins' stomach. The Mets manager, you know, we went through this with Johan Santana as that pitch count rises. Even more important with the future and present, 22-year-old Noah Syndergaard needs to protect that arm.
Meanwhile, the Rangers have their 10th man of the inning up at the plate with Delino DeShields taking a strike. He's the one that started this whole thing off with a walk to start it off. He would come around and score. So for Capuano, who they were hoping to get, 50, 60 pitches out, who knows? This might be it for him. About to throw his 39th pitch, and the Rangers can really blow the game open right here. Already 4-0 in the first. And it's 1-1 to DeShields. Diego Moreno. Yankees made a move. They called him up today. They sent down Nick Goody, who didn't pitch in the few days he was here. Guess what, kid? Might be coming on into this one for a while.
Well, they called him up because he's been stretched out. The last 3 outings in AAA were starts.
1-1.
Goody, more of a short-term guy out of the bullpen. And I'm thinking of this scenario exactly where you may need someone to pick up innings early to mid-game, much earlier than Joe Girardi expected to get Moreno up.
Yeah. Two and 1 to DeShields, leadoff hitter for Texas. And that's inside, and it's 3-1. Capuano's walked 4 in the inning. The Rangers have scored all 4 runs with 2 outs. It'll be a 3-2. 3-1, excuse me. Ball 4. And Capuano's walked it a run.
And that will be it. The pitch count you see there, 42. What really tells the story, the stress on the face of Chris Capuano. Never comfortable for a single pitch tonight.
Yeah, the veteran, the competitor, he just didn't have it. And he could not find it. And the Rangers knock him out of the game with a 5-run first inning and still going. Joe Girardi not thrilled. Yankees have had to go to the bullpen in the first inning as the Rangers have the 11th man up to the plate against Diego Moreno, making his second stint with the Yanks this year. And he deals a first pitch strike to Rougned Odor. Chris Capuano, 42 pitches, 5 walks. That was his undoing. And the Rangers have 5 runs in here in the first.
.37 of those pitches with runners on base. Just no room to breathe in that first inning for Capuano. Trouble from the get-go.
You hit it, Tom. I mean, he tried everything. I mean, fastball, change, breaking ball, just none of it. He couldn't find the strike zone. And so now, just trying to get out of the inning, and Odor stays alive. I mean, Delino DeShields on first base. Not often you see a guy walk twice in the same inning, let alone the first inning of a game. That's what he did against Capuano. I have a feeling Diego Moreno, who was in AAA starting, might be in there for a little bit if he can hang in. And this one back up the middle. Gregorius positioned well in the inning. Mercifully for the Yanks is finally over. However, all Rangers in the first, 5 runs, and they lead at 5-0 over the Yanks here in Arlington. on Chris Capuano and the Yankees, and they were out there hitting so long they had to re-rake the field.
You know you've had a lot of base runners. That's the first base area, and they essentially wore out the pavement over there. Time to resurface.
That's like bringing out the Zamboni after the first 2 shifts of the hockey game.
You know, most teams will get out there and drag the field after 2 or 3 innings. I have not seen that before after 1 inning of play.
So now Martin Perez back to work, and he's got Chris Young, the 5-hitter tonight for the Yankees. Try to get something going against Perez. And obviously, as this one is torched down the line, it's a fair ball. Takes a weird bounce. Rua chases. Young will hop on into second. Oh, Tom, maybe we see some runs tonight. What do you think?
Well, as hot as these Yankees are swinging the bat, I would not rule that out at all. A lot of baseball left in this game, and Chris Young, man, he just keeps mashing left-handed pitching. What a revelation he's been for the Yankees. Just fair, and you called it. How about that carom off the side wall?
Yeah, look at that spinner. Well, you said about Young, it's been pretty amazing. I mean, he was always a decent hitter against lefties in his career, but nothing like this. He came in hitting .361, which is 7th best in all of baseball against left-handers. Now it's Chase Headley, and the switch hitter takes down low for ball 1. Headley at .268. 9 home runs. Big game last night. 3 for 4, double, couple runs, big cuts, and it's 1-1. I'm curious for Perez. I mean, not often you go out and pitch the first inning, and then he sat for at least a half hour there to see how he bounces back.
29-minute half inning, Kevin.
1-1. He is in the dirt. And, you know, again, this is a guy making his 3rd start back from Tommy John surgery, trying to find rhythm, not get too cold. Tricky, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you know what? The new ballparks, though, and this one actually not that new, been around 20-some years. They have great facilities right behind the dugout. There's a batting cage area and a room to stretch, air conditioning there. He's got plenty of options to stay loose.
Headley watches the fastball. Now it's 3-1.
Chase Headley seeing the ball very well lately. He's swinging the bat very well coming out of the break.
Sure is. He's got 9 hits the last 5 games. Good count here at 3-1. And that one goes into the seats. I was talking with Chase yesterday, and he was quite relieved to actually have a trade deadline week come and actually not be in every single article in every single paper across America for the first time.
Nice to relax, Chase. Not have to have your bags packed. Where am I going next?
It seemed like the last 3-4 years his name was always bandied about. 3-2 coming, and this one back up the middle, and that's a base hit. So Chris Young's going to round third. He's going to score, and the Yankees have an immediate answer. It's 5-1.
Now he stays hot, and Chase Headley, interesting hitter, different swings from both sides of the plate. You see the load there where the bat is almost on his shoulder. From the left side, the bat is upright. From the right side, look how low the barrel is. Now he gets it up to the baseball. Very different swing. He's better right-handed with left-handed with more power, but that is actually a flatter stroke from the right-hand side. 2 different swings.
So the Yankees trying to get right back in it here against Martin Perez. And first pitch swinging is John Ryan Murphy, the 24-year-old backup catcher. Brian McCann started last night, but with the temperature around 100 every day here, you've got to think at least Murphy would start 1, if not 2 of these games. And you know what? Joe Girardi has been very lucky to have a guy that they don't lose that much. He's a very good guy to have as a backup.
Yeah, they had great competition in spring training. He won the job. There's Brian McCann. By the way, he told me this heat is nothing compared to what he grew up with.
I mean, I know it's hot in Atlanta. I know it's hot in the East Cobb League, but I mean.
Exactly. He said it's much more humid. He doesn't mind it here.
That's like the people that say Arizona's not that hot because it's not humid. 120 is still hot, by the way.
Yeah, well, my oven doesn't have humidity. It's pretty hot.
It's also hot. Well, 0-2 to John Ryan Murphy. A couple fans had plenty of time to get some snacks during that long first inning.
Oh, and they have some great food in this ballpark, Texas-sized.
Yeah, they do. This one left side gets through, base hit. Well, the Yankees have started this inning with 3 straight hits. Got a rally going against Perez. Let's go check in with Chris Myers for a game break. All right, Chris, thanks very much. So the perfect game for Syndergaard is over. And now here's Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, very good pitching coach for the Rangers, out to talk to Perez. I don't know if the 29-minute delay had anything to do with it or if he's just struggling too. It's hard to tell. Didi Gregorius now gets his chance, and he had a career night last night, Tom.
And he swung the bat much better, actually I'll say for the last month, way better than early in the season. He could not turn on a baseball like that early in the season. But Jeff Pentland, Alan Cockrell, the Yankees hitting coaches have done a great job with him.
This is an immediate chance for the Yankees to get right back into it. And you look at Gregorius, he came over, look, taking over for Derek Jeter. Say it however you want to say it, but that's what he was doing. And he got off to an awful start offensively. He hit .206 in April. He wasn't good defensively, which he normally is. Here is going to go back into the stands. So what's he done since? You talked about his improved swing and changing things. 258 in June, 294 now in July.
And really driving the baseball like we weren't seeing early in the season. He's got a unique way of swinging the bat. He essentially spins off his front heel. And what they've tried to do, the hitting coaches, is get him to hit off a firm front side. Early in the season, there's Jeff Pentland. Early in the season, that front leg was actually bent. He had an angle in the knee as he was getting through the baseball. You really want to have that straight, strong front side. Much better approach to the baseball, really since the middle of May.
1-1 to him here. Comes in and hits him. And now Martin Perez is really struggling himself. So all of a sudden, the 5 first inning runs that the Rangers put up don't look so large because the Yankees have the bases loaded and nobody out.
This was a changeup. He's trying to go down and away with this and loses it up and in. You talk about missing your target. Watch the glove of Chirinos and how far it has to go. And the hand of Gregorius gets hit before it gets to the glove.
Didi says, yeah, it's fine. I'm good. Base is loaded. The Yankees already with a run in and nobody out in the second. It's a 5-1 game. And Brendan Ryan, the hitter. Big cuts. And it's 0-1 to Ryan, who gets a second straight start at second base. So far off to a good start. He is in there for his glove. Make no mistake about it. He's always been a good defensive player.
Right there, it looked like he was in for the grand salami.
He wanted to be, that's for sure. 1-0-2. That one caught the corner. Ryan didn't think so.
A little bit surprised there. He's asking Andy Fletcher, you sure about that? Let's see the glove of Chirinos. Might have been down. Watch Chirinos pull it up. Try to give the umpire a better look. That's what you call framing right there.
He did a nice job. It was definitely low. And now it's 0-2 to Ryan. One and 2 to Brendan Ryan. Yankees middle infield situation. We told you about Gregorius, how he's been much improved. Second base has been take what they can get. Ryan had a big double last week for them. Not a big offensive player. Stephen Drew hasn't hit for average, but he's hit 13 home runs. Rob Refsnyder was up for a cup of coffee. And it's 2-2. So, you know, at this point, it's really, you've got Drew and Ryan, who some people said, well, why didn't you move one of them to keep Refsnyder up here? But the way the offense is going, you've got two guys who are really good defensively. I guess the Yankees doesn't want to mess with that at this point.
Exactly. You're talking about the 9-hole in the order, and right here, Ryan, one of the premier defenders at both middle and field positions. With Capuano starting, now gone, you wanted the defense.
2-2. This is a double play ball, but Odor went to cover the bag. It gets one run home. Another run comes in to score, and Ryan has a double. And the Yankees are right back in it. Wow.
Amazing. This is a double play ball. And Odor overruns the ball. Watch him break for some reason to the bag. Vacates the area, and too late to recover. Wow.
What was he covering? The runner was not even, Didi Gregorius didn't even move at that point.
I have no idea.
That was so strange.
You know, maybe he's just trying to anticipate that Ryan's going to pull the ball towards the middle of the field. I think Jeff Bannister wants to know what's going on.
That was bizarre. And what it did is the Yankees are right back in it. So here are the Rangers. They have this 5-run first inning. Capuano, the starter's out of the game. And now they're back within 2. And there's still nobody out. And so here we go. This is back up the middle for Ellsbury. And only one run going to come in to score. Joey Espada is going to stop Ryan at third base. So the Yankees are teeing off on Martin Perez. And they've got it within a 1-run game. A wild start here in Texas.
Ellsbury first pitch attacking up the middle. 9 runs already. And no balls have left the yard.
Well, Perez, he had a nice first inning, but he has really struggled here. Still nobody out. Started with a Chris Young double and then a Chase Headley RBI single. John Ryan Murphy with a single. Gregorius was hit. 2-run double from Ryan, and now an RBI single from Ellsbury. Here's Gardner. That's a strike. Wandy Rodriguez about to get going in the Rangers pen. Gardner struck out his first time up. Rifles one into the stands. Going back to that Brendan Ryan, what should have been a double play ball. What do you think happened?
Bases loaded. Runners aren't going anywhere. He just read the ball wrong off the bat. You know, it's interesting. We had a really nice conversation with Jeff Bannister, who came from that Pirates organization, about how well the Pirates marry defense and pitching. Throwing ground balls and having people in the right spot. Trying to bring that culture here. And obviously they have a lot of work to do. This is a below average defensive team when it comes to turning balls in play into outs. It's a work in progress.
Well, Odor, we told you he's been so good at the plate, Tom, but he's got 11 errors. It's actually the most of any second baseman in the league. That was a mental error. And even though there's a double play in the first that Moreland probably should have grabbed, he kind of sidearm and two-seamed it, and it wasn't a very good throw. He's had a tough day defensively. Gardner takes down low, and it's 1-2. And now Martin Perez is working, and he's laboring, and he's up to 42 pitches.
You know, the Pirates have a system, almost like a college football team has a system. It's predicated on throwing ground balls early in the count. Attack the zones that most likely produce ground balls and have the positions behind them in the right spot. And the Rangers are trying to learn that. You know, some of these pitchers, Jeff Bannister telling us, have never heard that kind of thinking before. And maybe by pitch 4 or 5 in the bat, now they start thinking, where can I get a ground ball? And it's too late at that point, already in trouble. Defenders, they're used to shifting, but not understanding the philosophies of shifting. It's something that has to be integrated throughout the system, not just on the major league level.
I want to ask you about that if we get a chance. We'll see. Here's the 2-2 to Gardner. Little tapper back up the middle, and it gets through, and we are tied. What a crazy game. 5 runs for the Rangers in the first, 5 runs for the Yankees in the second.
Well, change up, left up in the zone. And Gardner doesn't try to do too much. Actually, he's bailing a little bit, but threads the needle. Watch this. This is a changeup supposed to sink, stays up. And Gardner, a little bit of Roger Federer right there.
That wasn't a terrible pitch, but he reached out and got it. 7 consecutive Yankees have reached. There's nobody out. And here's A-Rod. Cut on and missed.
One of his best changeups right there.
You know, look, although Perez is really labored, let's face it, you get a double play in that spot, it changes everything. It's a huge mistake by Odor. Now the Yankees, amazingly enough, can take the lead with a base hit. And A-Rod drives one deep left field. And it's going to be off the wall. Here comes Ellsbury. Yanks in front. It's an RBI double for Alex Rodriguez.
Well, Alex Rodriguez, has hit almost 700 home runs. He normally knows when he hits it. Watch the reaction here. A bat flip? Yeah, I got it. Wait a second. No, I didn't get it. Now, the good news for him is that second base is uncovered right here. They've got a relay set up. Moreland, not trailing him, is running to the middle of the field, so it's an easy stand-up double.
Honestly thought it was got off the bat myself for a second, but it didn't get high enough off of that big wall in left field. But you know what? The double, and the Yankees have taken the lead. Pitching change. Jeff Bannister makes a switch. Martin Perez is out. So here we are in the second inning, and there are no longer starters in the ball game. Get some snacks. We're going to be here a while, ladies and gents. Wandy Rodriguez in from the bullpen for the Rangers. He hasn't pitched much of late at all. Pitched against Anaheim the other day for the first time in a long time, in over 2 weeks. And it didn't go well. He went an inning and third, allowed 2 runs. And obviously used to being a starter, but he's in there now after Martin Perez knocked out after 1+ innings. Teixeira takes a strike. And again, Perez, you given a 5-0 lead in the first inning, you have to hold it, but his defense let him down. He had a double play ball. Could have certainly changed things. You know, the Yankees have nobody out. 6 runs in, nobody out in this second inning of this completely nuts game so far from Arlington. Curveball, and this one's ripped left field. It is. There you go, foul. That little last corner's cut off from us up here in the booth, so I have to wait for the signal from the umpire down on the field.
I mean, it is amazing to think you're down 5-0, and before you get an out, you have a lead 8 batters later.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
See, the fans here got to work on their defense too.
Right,
positioning was good right there. Execution poor.
Like a sieve. It's 1-2 to Teixeira, and it's inside with a fastball. So 2-2 to Teixeira. First 8 Yankees have reached in this second inning. Gardner's on third. Alex Rodriguez on second after that go-ahead double. Inside, nearly hit him. And Teixeira has worked the count full.
You've seen pretty much the pattern you get with Rodriguez. He really needs to throw that fastball in to set up the curveball. He'll throw as many curveballs as any pitcher in the big leagues, right up there with A.J. Burnett.
Did so there.
Yeah, I saw him shake, and that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
3-2, fastball, no sir. My pitch, best pitch, the curveball. Watch Teixeira, he gets out front here and can't stop the swing. I'm not sure he knew how many outs there were, Kevin.
I don't.
It's been that kind of an inning. I don't blame him.
I don't think he expected to be in the game in the second inning, Tom. So that's it. That's
still 3 outs in the big leagues.
That's a good point. So here we are. Let's see. The Rangers batted around in the first. The Yankees have batted around in the second. I don't know that my scorecard's been this messed up ever in the second inning of a game. But here's Chris Young, who started this second inning with a double and came around to score. And we told you he has mashed left-handers. 361 against lefties coming into today. It's outside.
You kind of knew when the first batter of the game gets up there and reaches base on a catcher's interference. I mean, it's like one of those days you get out of bed, the first thing you do, you stub your toe on the nightstand. Here we go. We should have seen that sign.
We should have known. Although these teams have played some high-scoring affairs, and especially here. So tonight certainly seems headed that way.
It's not as if, though, the ball is flying all over the yard and into the seats and the bleachers and through the gaps. A lot of ground balls, just a lot of pitches not being executed. A lot of walks, of course, but defensively, plays not being made.
And it's 3-0 to Young. Right down Broadway, there's a strike.
It's almost like an old school baseball game where the ball is put into play. You know, really, that's what's been missing is the swing and miss. We so are accustomed to the strikeouts in the game and not being able to put the ball in play.
So true.
We don't have strikeout pitchers in this game, and still don't.
And it's ball 4. So Rodriguez got ahead of Young, and then he lost him. And we keep on going here in this Yankees second inning where they've already put up 6. Here's the if you've just tuned in and found the game, well, you didn't miss much as far as innings, but you missed a ton. You said it. Catcher's interference to start. Leadoff hitter walked Delino DeShields twice in the same inning. Texas scored 5 against Chris Capuano in a half hour, and then the Yankees go and score 6, and there's only 1 out. And now it's Chase Headley. RBI single his first time up, and he takes strike 1.
It's looking like the war and peace of baseball games. Settle in.
You do the double take, say, wait, that can't say the second inning? Oh, it does. And the dirt on the curb, but Chirino stops it. So, yeah, I mean, Martin Perez, 1+. He threw 29 pitches, and he's on the hook for the runners at second and third. Meanwhile, Chris Capuano got the spot start. He lasted just 2/3 of an inning, 42 pitches, 5 walks.
And off the hook.
Off the hook.
Extremely quickly.
Left side, another base hit for Headley. More runs for the Yankees. Gardner scores. Rodriguez stops at third, and the hit parade continues for the Yanks. 8th hit in the inning.
I'm telling you, we've turned the clock back to the 1970s. The ball is in play. It's actually fun to watch. It's refreshing to watch. Again, another ground ball. Not hit especially hard. You know, kind of rolled over on this. Put the ball in play. Good things happen.
Let's add another crazy fact to this game. 7-5 Yankees now. Second inning, 1 down. It's already the 6th at bat with the bases loaded. 6. Now John Ryan Murphy catching tonight for Brian McCann. He singled and scored last time up, which happened to be about 15 minutes ago in the same inning.
We saw Moreno in the dugout there. We've got another pitcher sitting on his hands for a half an hour.
He's like, wait a second, I just got here, and now if I hang around, maybe I can get a win out of this deal. Going into the game 5-0 in the first. Murphy fouls it off. So it's 1-2 as Wandy Rodriguez trying to find his footing here. Only out in the inning is a Mark Teixeira strikeout. That's it. The Yankees have put runners on, and they're 6 for 7 with runners in scoring position in the inning. Curveball, can't find the range on that one. And so it's 2-2 as Rodriguez tries to settle in and find some sort of consistency. He started a game on July the 10th. Actually got a win that game against the Padres and hadn't pitched until that relief appearance this weekend in Anaheim. So certainly say rust for a guy that's used to going and being a starter. It had been for this team for most of the year. Curveball again, and that's a big cut and a miss. So Rodriguez has his second strikeout of the inning, and finally the second out for Texas.
And finally a strikeout. Looked like the changeup placed perfectly, had Murphy out front.
Here's Didi Gregorius. It's a momentous pitch here, Tom. This is the 50th pitch of this half inning. How do you feel about that?
Once again, it's like Capuano's inning. The leadoff batter reaches base. In this case, it was a double by Young.
Yeah.
And every pitch is a stressful pitch. Bases, somebody on base, every single pitch.
Gregorius, hit by a pitch and scored earlier in the inning. Curveball's way outside. Rodriguez having trouble with that breaking ball. So 7-5 Yankees here in the top of the second inning.
Have you noticed this crowd? It's a little stunned.
Yeah.
Like you go to the movies and you expect an action drama and it turns out to be like a comedy. I mean, it's wholly unexpected.
Yeah, I think it's I think there's, trying to figure out exactly what they've seen. I think they're trying to figure out, well, let's calculate this. If we what time we got to get up in the morning again?
Gardner's reading War and Peace. He's on chapter 5.
2-1 to Didi Gregorius. And Gregorius rips one. That is going all the way to the wall. And that's going to clear him. Gregorius racing around second. Trying for 3. Bases clearing triple. And the Yankees offense has got off here in the second inning. Wow. A 10-run second for the Bombers.
They are just bulldozing the Rangers right here. Another pitch up. Gregorius does a nice job taking it the other way. Look how shallow the outfielders are, splitting the gap. They compromise the range when you're going to play that shallow.
Gregorius had the huge night last night. Brendan Ryan tomahawks one down the left field line, and that's a fair ball. Gregorius scores. Ryan going into second base. It's 11-5 New York. Second double and 3 RBIs in the inning for Brendan Ryan, who we told you earlier wasn't known for his offense. He had 3 RBIs coming in, and he's got it in this inning.
Well, Mike Maddox out to the mound. I think if I've counted correctly, that's either the 4th or 5th trip to the mound we've seen. Maybe 5 trips to the mound already for both teams. And Brendan Ryan, we saw the big swing with the bases loaded, trying for the grand slam. Once again, first pitch, big swing. This time, contact. I mean, they are just teeing off on these pitches. I'm not a big fan of rushing guys back, but in the old days, when you have a team comfortable at the plate with these kind of swings and almost called out for a pitch up and in, move somebody's feet at minimum.
This is now the 15th batter of the inning for the Yankees. Jacoby Ellsbury, breaking ball for a strike. And by the way, the book on Martin Perez is closed. Officially goes 1+ innings, gives up 8 runs, all earned on 7 hits. And again, the disclaimer: a double play, a mental miscue by Odor, which could have really changed everything. So he wasn't good, didn't have any help.
You're right, but I will say, emphasize he wasn't good, and I think he would be the first one to tell you that the command, and again, first time back, 3rd start back, but first year back from Tommy John, you're going to sacrifice command, and that's what he had to live with tonight.
Yep. Ellsbury takes that sidearm breaking ball delivery outside. And let's not mince the facts. The Yankees offense came into today 2nd in the league in runs scored. They're having a great July. And you know what? They're having a great inning, actually.
That's a great game in an inning.
Ellsbury swinging for the downs, and he goes down. So Rodriguez ends up striking out the side. Martin Perez can't believe it. A 32-minute inning. The Yankees score 11 times, and they're up 11-5. We're in the 2nd, Tom.
Hang on, we got a long way to go.
Because it has been an offensive show. 11-5 Yankees. If you've just tuned in, the Rangers put up 5. They went crazy in the first inning off of Chris Capuano, who got the spot start, didn't make it out of the first. And of course, we're looking great. Then the Yankees come up, and They score 11 runs on 10 hits, and they knock Martin Perez out of the game. And so here we are, bottom of the second inning with Adrian Beltre up against Diego Moreno, who just got called up to the Yankees today.
That shot of the moon, that's what the baseballs look like to the hitters tonight.
Really do. Beltre takes it inside. Well, it's been fun. It's been action-packed. You have to say that. Meanwhile, here's Moreno, who was up, as we told you earlier this year. In time, you said it last inning. Down to third. And there's one away. Come back to that thought in a second. Let's go back to Chris Myers for a game break. Chris, what do you got?
Designated hitter, Prince Fielder.
All right, Chris, thanks very much. So Trout out today. It's a bunch of trades between last night and today, which we'll get to when we get a chance. There's just been so much action. Haven't had a chance to talk about it. Here's Prince Fielder. Fielder right side. Gregorius. And there's two down. Look at that. So 28-year-old Diego Moreno comes on and retires the first two batters. A novelty.
Could we have a 1-2-3 inning?
I'm not going to bank on that just yet. I mean,
well, you know, you mentioned how fun it's been to watch it. I guess it depends on whether you're a Ranger fan or not. But
well, yeah.
The ball in play, that's really what it's about. We spend so much time talking about pace of the game and the length of the game. It's about the pace of the action. And you're seeing when the ball is put in play as often as it is tonight, it's fun to watch.
It is.
I don't care how long it takes.
It's and look, the strikeouts in the game have risen so much. Now look, is this a bit of an anomaly? It is. But I think your point is taken. There's action. Maybe not a little bit much. I don't know if it's so much fun for them, but we'll see. Andrus is the batter, and he takes a strike. It's 1-1. That is inside. So yeah, Moreno, going to give you that thought before he went to Chris for the game break. You know, he gets called up today. You hit it earlier, said it an inning ago, but that was an hour ago, so it's worth repeating that he had been a starter in AAA, and that's why they brought him up, knowing they might need length. Of course, now they do, and so now he's got a real chance. And he gets Andrus with a big cut and miss.
You know, when you talk about stretching him out, because he had been a relief pitcher for most of the season, really the last three starts that he made were not longer than 4 innings.
Right.
4 innings, Joe Girardi would love to get that out of Moreno.
He'll take it all day long. So a chance to really make a name for himself, maybe vie for a win, and that's a good inning as he gets Andrus out on strikes in a 1-2-3 inning. It has happened. So through 2 here at Arlington. It's 11-5, New York in front. We're in the third here in Texas, along with Tom Verducci. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you along. It's been a wild game, as you can see by the score. 11-5 Yankees here in the top of the third inning. Brett Gardner is your leadoff hitter in the third against Wandy Rodriguez, who's in relief. Both starters knocked out very early, as you would expect with the score. Gardner singled, drove in a run, and scored in the second inning, where the Yankees sent, 15 batters to the plate? Breaking ball is a strike and a good one.
Can you imagine the guy who just tuned in right now? He sees the box, the score box in the corner, and he's thinking, wait a second, third inning, there must have been a rain delay, right? And then he sees 11-5, and he says, wait a second, it can't be the third inning.
We had 2 half-hour half innings. Gardner rips one to the right side, and it's the 11th hit for the Yankees today. And now Alex Rodriguez. He was a Ranger. He got an enormous contract from Tom Hicks, $252 million. Won an MVP. But the 3 years he was here, the Rangers were in last place every year, and it didn't work out, and he wanted out, ended up in New York. Fans have booed him. Well, not those Yankee fans, but the Ranger fans have booed him every time they've gotten.
Well, the contract certainly didn't work out. You mentioned 3 last place finishes, including the money they had to send along in that trade with the Yankees. Cost the Rangers about $150 million for 3 years.
Wow.
And of course, part of the problem was his salary ate up such a large percentage of the team's payroll. Well, as Chan Ho Park, they just didn't have a good complement of players around him. And they also thought they could build around him to build some real estate and retail outlets around the ballpark. That didn't happen.
This one smoked, and Rodriguez has his second hit of the game. Gardner going to go to third, so Rodriguez 2 for 3 with an RBI double, and the Yankees offense continues to crush it here tonight.
Fastball up. Watch him stay on top of this ball, not get underneath it. That's like an Albert Pujols swing right there. You see a lot of guys get underneath the ball, pop it up. And look at the balance. Wow. You could cast a statue at that after that swing. Look good on the top of a trophy with such great balance right there.
So here's Teixeira, who takes strike one. Teixeira is, well, he's the only guy not to get invited to the party. Yankees 14 of the last 17 Yankee players have reached base. He's the only player that hasn't so far tonight. He flew out to right, and then he struck out swinging against Rodriguez, and he takes a big cut here. And it's 0-2 against Wandy, who ironically struck out the side the last inning despite allowing 3 runs. It's actually warm, but it's not too bad tonight. They'll get a little bit of a breeze in the ballpark. 98 when this game started. And that is low.
I think the 2 starting pitchers are going to disagree with you on the heat in this game.
They
felt it.
I'm not laboring. I'm just sitting here comfortable in a chair.
Yeah, laboring is the right word for what happened to Chris Capuano and Martin Perez.
If you had to exert any energy, it would be hot. Don't get me wrong. It's 1-2 to Teixeira. Another breaking ball. You wrote an interesting article on A-Rod today, Tom, for Sports Illustrated, and it was intriguing on a lot of levels. You know, clearly what he's done has been pretty incredible this year, but there were certain things there that I found very fascinating, and one of them was, you had a conversation with him yesterday, how some fastballs gave him trouble a couple of years ago, and how this year he is annihilating those pitches, hitting tape measure home runs.
I think that was his biggest concern. He talked about when he got back in 2013 after the second hip surgery, average fastballs, that's about 92. If the ball was in or up, he could not catch up with it. And he started to think, if I could not hit those pitches, what do I do after missing baseball for a year and a half?
Teixeira fouls another one off.
And the exact opposite has happened, where he's covering both sides of the plate. He's covering hard in, and we just saw there, it wasn't especially hard, but pitches up as well. He's got no holes right now. So the book about you always wanted to, especially recently, crowd him in, It's not the case anymore. Now that bat speed has returned with a vengeance.
You know, you can look at a number of factors. He's 40 years old, obviously. 2 repaired hips at this point. And you would think being away from the game, you'd get rusty, you'd lose it. I don't know. I mean, you asked him the question in the article, is he clean? He said he's clean. So did the time off help him? Did it rejuvenate his body to the point where it's helped here? And Teixeira, after all that, falling behind, he fought it off with a couple of foul balls. He draws a walk, and the bases will be loaded for Chris Young.
Meanwhile, while I answer your question, you can count up how many bases loaded at bats we have this guy, because I've lost count. Check this out. Career 3 home run games. He did it first time at age 24, and then he does it at age 39, just 2 days before his 40th birthday. Yeah, there's no doubt that the year out of baseball, for all the wrong reasons we have to really emphasize, was restorative to him both mentally and physically. And that's what he said. He said, I am clean, I'm healthy, and I'm happy. And all those things go together with being out of the game for a year.
Chris Young with the bases loaded. And he takes just inside. And look, the reality is, and he knows this, no one's ever going to think he's totally clean. He was suspended a year from the game, and that's something that he's going to just have to change by keep doing what he's doing right now.
And he understands that. He said that 100%. I understand the skeptics, but insists that he's clean and that the power. Well, let me give you an idea about the ball coming off his bat. He's had 3 home runs this year, 450 feet or more. That's the extreme length of home runs in the big leagues. 3 of those. That's the most he's had in any season in 8 years. And he just turned 40.
It's astonishing. It really is. And now we'll get some confusion. Wandy Rodriguez.
Well, he's having an all-time July when you think about what he's doing at his age. This month of July, 3rd most home runs in baseball with 9. 1 short of the record. Of course, you knew this, Kevin. Cy Williams.
Totally got it right.
The only guy to hit 10 age 39 or older. That was back in 1927.
By the way, he almost had his 10th earlier in the game. Young watches that one sail lone away.
By the way, Cy Williams, he went to Notre Dame. Actually played on the football team in 1910. He was the backup left end. The backup right end on that Notre Dame team was a guy by the name of Newt Rockne.
That's great. There's a strike. It's a 3-1 to Young.
Cy Williams hit those 10 home runs for the Phillies, but early in his career played for the Cubs. He actually played for, as managers, Tinkers, Evers, and Chance. All 3 of those. Played for 14 managers in 14 years.
That's incredible. Young unloads deep left field. And it's gone. It's a grand slam for Chris Young. 15 runs on the board for the Yankees, and we're only in the 3rd. My goodness.
Astonishing. Just from both sides of the field, you see just the happiness, almost like a little league team in that Yankee dugout. To score 15 runs, and on the other side, just anguish, almost embarrassment. I mean, nobody likes to have it rubbed in like this. Just the incredible swings the Yankees are getting.
4th career grand slam for Chris Young. 2nd this year. He hit one off Grant Balfour April 18th. I mean, think about how this game started for a second. They knocked Chris Capuano out of the game. Out of the game after 2/3 of an inning. It was 5-0 Rangers. All the early momentum. And the Yankees have scored 15 unanswered runs, and we're not even through 3 innings. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that.
That 5-0 lead seems like last week.
Incredible. Meanwhile, Chris Young's resurgence also incredible. His 12th home run of the year for a guy that was in New York originally with the Mets and didn't work out. The Yankees picked him up late last year, and he has been great this year. And now Rodriguez issuing a walk to Chase Headley.
Well, you mentioned the first home run. This is the second. Here's the first home run by Chris Young. Such a compact swing. I mean, Chris Young, this work began last year when he got here with the Yankees. They liked what they saw. And again, the hands directly to the baseball on balance. This guy had a lot of swing and miss issues early in his career. But the work he's put in the last 2 years has made him a valuable property as a left-handed masher. Just destroys left-handed pitching. Oh yeah, they're going out for ice cream cones after the game.
Chris Young all smiles, and the Rangers are not, because they're on their third pitcher of the game in the third inning, and it's 26-year-old Phil Klein. Wandy Rodriguez is done.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A Samsung call for Rangers bullpen. Coming into pitch for the Rangers, number 35, Phil Klein. Phil Klein, number 35, now pitching for the Rangers.
The Yanks, and there have been a lot of them. And the Rangers are now on their third pitcher. Usually don't see that by the third inning of a game. And when I say third inning, Tom, there are no outs in this third inning. So it's Phil Klein on the pitch.
Well, it took us 16 combined runs to see our first home run. We've now completed the combined cycle, single, double, triple, home run. Can't wait to see what's coming next. Catcher's interference, cycle, home run.
I'm going to predict batting out of order.
I'm going to predict a position player is going to take them out for Texas at some point at this rate.
That's very, very true. That is very, very true. All right, so Phil Klein, you're on the hook. Nobody out in the third, and you've got John Ryan Murphy. Going to trademark the term nobody outs by the time this ball game is over. Murphy 1 for 2. Tap to third. Beltre slick glove on a second. Odor and double play. Phil Klein, the star of the game. And the Rangers fans respond with a big cheer. It's 5-4-3 double play, and there's 2 down. Phil Klein just recalled on Monday for these Rangers, and fastball slider guy. And now we'll just be looked on to get some outs here.
It's popular with the Ranger fans right now.
Sure. Come in and get a 5-4-3 double play. So Martin Perez went 1+, allowed 8 runs. Wandy Rodriguez went 1+, allowed 7 runs. There you go. Here's Didi Gregorius, who has reached base twice, hit by a pitch, and then had a 3-run triple his last time up. He's got 7 RBIs his last 5 at bats. Home run in last night's game. And this one up the middle, and Gregorius is on fire. Another base hit for Didi Gregorius.
Well, we asked what would come next. We'll watch this out with Chase Headley. Here's the double play. They hit it to the right guy for the Rangers. Chase sliding into second base right there. Beltre with a nice pick. Watch Headley. That was hit me in the face right there. Now, that's certainly the second baseman's prerogative, especially when you get that feed low. You don't have the time to raise into an overhand position to throw. You throw from where you catch it.
It also appears that Odor really does throw from a pretty low sidearm angle on those turns. But luckily Headley can smile because he didn't get drilled.
He's not that tall to begin with.
Brendan Ryan, the hitter. So Brendan Ryan, Tom, came in with 3 RBIs in the year. Now he's been hurt a lot, but he's got 3 tonight, and we're in the third. He's got a 2-run double. He's got another double. He's in there for his defense, but he'll take that. So not just a great mustache and a glove.
You like that 70s look, huh?
It's something. 2 down and tap foul. So it's 1-2 to Brendan Ryan.
Well, he was hurt, when the Yankees went through that phase where everybody was wearing the mustaches. So when he came back, everybody else by then was over it. And he was a little late to the party, but decided he'd like the look, and he's going to keep it. I mean, that's almost Magnum territory. 1980s, 70s, 80s fans.
Who's going to be Higgins? 1-2. Tapper, left side. Beltre comes in, guns it to first. And the inning is over. So finally Klein comes in, put a little end to this madness. The Yankees offense unloading. Chris Young, a grand slam. Jeff Pentland, the hitting coach, saying, well done, son. Chevrolet, the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. Glad to have you along tonight on a Tuesday night special edition of Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 alongside Tom Verducci. I'm Kevin Burkhardt, and it has been complete bizarro world here in this game. If you just tuned in, where the Rangers scored 5 in the first inning to knock Chris Capuano out of the game, the Yankees have scored 15 unanswered. And so here we are in the bottom of the third with Mitch Moreland up against Diego Moreno, who, by the way, just got called up before the game.
For a minute there, you lapsed into your NFL mode. 15 unanswered.
It's what it
you almost said
like.
Points.
It's true.
You don't hear that phrase often in baseball, do you? 15 unanswered runs.
No, I don't. I can tell you, I don't think I've ever said it in a baseball game. That's the minor leagues included. Oh, my goodness.
How about our guy Diego Moreno? He doesn't mind waiting these half innings of a half hour or more. Hey, he knows he's smelling a W.
He's smelling his first major league win. If he could get some outs, still got a long way to go. 1-2 to Mitch Moreland. Garner giving chase, but it slices away. How about this nugget? So the 15 runs scored by the Yankees in these 3 innings, it's more than they've scored the last 570 games. Pretty productive.
I think he may be updating that stat before we're done here.
Who knows the way this game is going? even 10 runs doesn't seem that outlandish to overcome if you're Texas. And that's a strikeout to Moreland. So one down here in the third. Game break time. Let's get to Chris Myers. Chris, look forward to watching Whip Around at 4 a.m. Eastern time. That should be good. That's obviously a huge series, Tom, with the Angels and the Astros there. That is neck and neck. Both teams making moves to make themselves better. You see the Angels with a 1-game lead, and Texas 8 back. Here's Rua, who takes inside. 1-1 to Ryan Rua. Actually had a 2-run single back in the first, which was nearly an hour and 40 minutes ago.
You can see why the Yankees like Moreno's arm. He's really flashed a great off-speed pitch at 88 miles an hour. Gets swings and misses with it. There's the breaking ball. You know, I'm from a large family. I got 3 brothers, 2 of them older, so I know all about hand-me-downs. That's essentially what the Yankees do with the number 64, which Moreno was wearing. And let's face it, they're out of numbers. You can't pick exactly what you want because of all the retired numbers. It's a foul ball.
I never think about that.
He's the 5th player to wear the number 64 this year. They literally took that jersey out of Nick Goody's locker. He was brought up, didn't even get into a game. Here comes Moreno, and he gets 64. They've had 7 players wear that number in the last 2 years.
You don't see that very often in baseball.
They literally carry that jersey around. The Yankees have used their roster like no other team this year. It's essentially an 18-man pitching staff.
And Rua goes down. So all of a sudden, a couple strikeouts here for Moreno in the inning. 3 overall, and there's 2 away in the third. Yankees are running out of numbers to choose from.
Well, Goody didn't get into a game, but if he had, he would have become the 28th pitcher for the Yankees this year. That would tie a team record set in 2005. There's no doubt they'll break that before we're out of here. But I talked about the size of the pitching staff. They love to have pitchers with options in the bullpen. If you pitch 2 innings and you can't pitch for a day or 2, you're out. Somebody else comes up from AAA. And they're fortunate enough to have an inventory of pitchers like Moreno with good arms.
Chu takes a strike. So quickly, Moreno getting ahead of hitters. He's really the first pitcher all night to get ahead of some guys here. And hey, he retired the side in order in the second. He got his only batter Odor in the first. 6 up, 6 down for him so far. It's a good start. After the Rangers had pummeled Chris Capuano in the first, Chris just couldn't find it. He was laboring so hard just to get any one of his pitches over. But he's been bailed out by this Yankee offense here tonight. Chu fouls it off. Certainly wasn't what Joe Girardi planned. In his head, he was like, okay, let's get maybe 3 innings from Capuano, maybe 3 from Adam Warren, and then we'll figure it out from there.
You know, Capuano sitting at 0-4 record. It's actually the most losses without a win at the end of a season for any Yankee pitcher, if that should hold up over the course of the season. 10 other pitchers have done it. And again, he still has time to get a W. But in 1979, how about this? Paul Mirabella went 0-4 with the Yankees in 14 in the 3rd innings. Wrong place at the wrong time pretty often.
In 14 in the 3rd innings?
That was it. Only through 14 in the 3rd innings he went 0-4. One of 10 Yankee pitchers to lose 4 games without a win. Oh, that'll keep you busy for a few innings. I told you that when they feed you food in this ballpark, they do it in a helmet.
You have time to eat the entire helmet tonight. The way this game's going, that looked great. Meanwhile,
and they also have sausages and hot dogs here in case you're interested. that come with there it is, with a handle. You basically have a suitcase with this thing to take it back to your seat.
That's 2,800 calories.
Now, see, you can get cheese on it. You can order lots of things with it, including a cardiologist.
I mean, wow. How many people does it take to eat that thing? Is it for like a family of 4?
This is Texas, brother. That's a single serving.
3-2 to chew. Down low, ball 4. So first walk issued by Moreno, and the Rangers have a 2-out base runner. Wait, there's more?
Oh, yeah, they're just getting started. Come on. A little more. Come on. You got to cover that. I'm sure there's another lay to go on top of that, too. That can't be it.
All serious. How do you even go about deciding? How do you attack that? Because if you squish it together.
There you go. Let's see.
But the cheese oozes everywhere, no?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a station here where they just hose you down after you finish eating that.
Here is Chirinos, the catcher, and strike 1 to Robinson Chirinos.
Well, you're not going anywhere, right? Only the 4th inning, 3rd inning.
I like her approach. She's looking for only the best chips. Weed out the bad ones initially. Go with the ones with the most stuff on it, and then if you're still hungry, you can go back for the soggy ones. Chirinos walked his first at bat. 225 on the year. Does have 9 home runs. It's a 10-run Yankee lead. We're only here in the 3rd. Diego Moreno has settled it down from the Yankee side. Big cut. And it's 1-2. Funny thing is, for Moreno, this could be a situation where he could be here tonight and then gone tomorrow. But
I was thinking the same thing.
If he's gone tomorrow, I would certainly feel a lot better if he has a major league win under his belt.
Thrown this many pitches, he wouldn't be available for the next at least 3 or probably 4 days.
Yeah. And they don't need it for 3 or 4 days. And you should point out another thing. If you just tuned in, this was supposed to be Masahiro Tanaka's start, but he's made 9 starts. He's coming back from the forearm strain and the tightness and things, and he hasn't done it on regular rest yet. The Yankees are trying to protect him for the rest of the year because he does have that partial ligament tear. So this is just pushing everybody back.
Well, remember, even when healthy over in Japan, he's pitching essentially once a week. They don't play on Mondays. They give him an extra day. Stay in rotation, pitching every 6th or 7th day. And he's only pitched 9 starts in these 2 years with the Yankees on what we now call normal rest, which actually now is not normal anymore. More starts are made with 5+ days than with 4 days now in today's game.
2-2. Little nubber, and it stays fair. Headley stays with it. Long throw in time. Nice job by Diego Moreno to settle this game down from the Yankees. If you didn't eat enough 700-pound chicken kebabs when we come back. Goodness. Way series as Mike Trout and the Angels take on Adrian Gonzalez and the Dodgers. Coverage begins 3:30 Eastern only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We head to the fourth here in Arlington. 15-5 Yankees over the Rangers, and you get the feeling that the offense is not nearly done today. That is for sure. And back to the top of the order for the Yankees, Jacoby Ellsbury is in there. He's got a single and an RBI and a run scored. That came in the Yankees' monumental second inning when they sent 16, make that 15 to the plate, and scored 11. And it's 1-1 to Ellsbury.
Fourth inning already?
Already there.
Ellsbury with his fourth plate appearance.
Phil Klein, the third Rangers pitcher. And that one was not close. We'll get a game break from Chris Myers in a moment. A lot going on in baseball, and we'll take you through in case you missed all the trades last night and today, including Jonathan Papelbon, now a National, which is interesting on a lot of levels. It's a move that surprises me a little bit. Maybe get into that after we hear from Chris and see what's going on elsewhere. Meanwhile, 2-2 to Ellsbury, starting off here in the fourth. Chance for Odor, and there's one away. Let's go to L.A. What do you got for us, Chris Myers? Wow. So the Royals, they just keep on winning. And Chris mentioned they they traded for Ben Zobrist today for a couple of their big prospect pitchers as Brett Gardner takes down low. And so they've gotten Cueto. They've traded away high-end talent. They've gotten Zobrist, who now fits in perfectly with Infante struggling and needing some help with Gordon hurt in the outfield. Tom, I don't know about you, but I love it. You know, they're this team, and they see their window to win is now.
Hey, listen, I thought they were the best team in the American League before those moves. So the best got better. There's no doubt about it. Cueto can obviously be a stopper, which they did not have even last year. Shields didn't pitch well in the postseason. But it's interesting. I think what they've done, the Royals, you see there's Zobrist added in the trade for the two pitchers. I think what they've done last year by getting to Game 7 of the World Series, essentially on the strength of the bullpen. See the walk right there has really, I think, almost inspired other teams. The idea, just get yourself into playoff position. And once you get into the postseason, because of the off days in the schedule, you can kind of run the table on the strength of your bullpen. And that's why we talked about the Nationals getting Jonathan Papelbon. We know about the starters and what they can do when they're on point. But build some of these staffs from the back end in.
Here's Alex Rodriguez at another big night. And he takes a strike. 2 for 3 with a torch double. Just missed a home run. 2 runs and an RBI. That game has changed. And you're right. The playoff, the theory to win in some ways. Because, yeah, the Royals have the model. And we know Bumgarner was great. But the Giants, outside of Bumgarner, it was their bullpen that got them through the playoffs last year, because their starters didn't contribute all that much outside of Madison.
No question. You know, I don't want to go as far as to say that starting pitching is overrated, because in a perfect world, that's what you want. You want to beat people with, you know, the Braves rotation of the 90s.
Sure.
And let's face it, it's hard to put a staff together like that as long as your starting pitchers keep you in the game for 5 innings. And until that lineup turns around the third time, that's what the game has become. I mean, it's a bullpen game from there on out. The Astros have done that with their bullpen, went from really one of the worst in baseball history to one of the best this year. The Cardinals, the Cubs, the Mets, the Orioles, all teams really built backward forward, from the back of the bullpen forward. I should give the Mets credit for that starting pitching as well, but to me, their bullpen now with Tyler Clippard even better, and it's been good.
2-2, and Aaron watches that outside. By the way, that was the 201st pitch of this game. We're in the 4th inning. So it's been some pitching. Well, depending on how you look at it. Teixeira waiting to join the party. So it's 3-2 to Alex Rodriguez here. Gardner on first. 1 down. Klein's upstairs, ball 4. Back-to-back walks. And now it's Teixeira's turn.
And another conference on the mound. How's Andy Fletcher feeling right now? The umpire is the only one who's been behind the plate for all of those 200-plus pitches.
Oh, yeah.
A little hot tonight.
And he's been in the majors since 1999, and I know he's worked some hot ball games, but it's not exactly the easiest. So the meeting at the mound is Teixeira. The Yankees have done so much damage tonight. He's the only one without a hit. Meanwhile, the Game Changer Profile brought to you by T-Mobile, official scorer, official sponsor of Game Changers. And it's been a game changer for him because his year, health obviously a part of it last year. But he's got more home runs and RBIs already than he did all of last year. All-star this year. Certainly make a case in the MVP race, even though he and A-Rod are right there on this team. So now he's up, 1 down, 2 on. Klein has walked the last 2, and he throws a strike.
Well, left-handed, much more power, better hitter this year from the left-hand side. There's no mystery about what he tries to do. He's all about hooking the baseball, even pitches away. He wants to hit to right field and get it in the air.
The thing about Teixeira this year, look, he's always been, especially from the left side, a credible, prolific home run hitter. But if you look at it, this year he's averaging a home run every 12.2 at bats from the left side. Only Bryce Harper's better in the league.
And he's hit a ton of those home runs right down the line at Yankee Stadium. Built for that ballpark.
And that's a strike. And in his career from the left side, it's every 16.5. So he's less than that by 4 at bats this year. That's the kind of year he's having. Another resurgent guy at age 35. These Yankees are turning back time in some ways.
See the defense shifted way over to the right.
This one jammed him, and this should be an easy double play. Andrews, the flip took forever, and Teixeira is safe.
Yeah, you're right about the flip.
It was too far.
Or if you're going to flip that, you really need to use the side hand, not the underhand, and snap the ball. Watch the flip here. You know Teixeira's running, not a lot of speed, but it's not hit very hard. And watch the hand underneath the baseball. Now it's going to hang in the air too long. There's really not much Andrews can do at that point. Almost like an option quarterback. If you're going to flip it there, you can't underhand it. It's more the side snap throw. Keep it on the line.
I mean, the ball wasn't scorched, but you got to turn that double play. I mean, Odor doesn't have an error tonight, but he's got 3 plays that certainly could be different. Had a tough time. Nonetheless, fielder's choice. So 2 down, runners on the corners for Chris Young, who hit a grand slam his last time up. He's in a monster game. Double, 3 runs scored, and there's a strike. And he's quickly behind Klein, 0-2.
That's a real good point, Kevin, about the fact that there's no official error charge there. When you think about what you do to your pitcher by not being able to make the play, you should be off the field. And he's pitching with runners in scoring position again.
0-2. Left side for Andrews. He bobbles, and Young's safe, and a run scores. My goodness.
Oh, you could almost see this one coming. He just chose the wrong hop. Either had to work farther through the baseball or lay back just a hair. Instead, he chose to field an in-between hop. Watch this ball bounces probably one more time than it should have, or lay back. Instead, he's got the short hop. It comes up on the heel of the glove. Watch how close the hop is to the glove and comes up on the heel. I mean, that's just a matter of losing focus. Been out there a long time. You know what the scoreboard says. You still have to play it like it's 0-0.
And the inning should be over. They should have turned the last double play. There's a lot of indecisiveness on defense tonight for these Rangers. They've had their struggles somewhat on defense this year, but today not perfect for them. Chase Headley is the batter. 2 more hits for him tonight. 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Headley skies one. Marlins, foul ground, makes the catch, and the inning is over. But the Yankees scratch across a run on the error. 16-5, New York. At every ballpark for every game, just like those. Visit MLB.com/tickets today. They're having a great time. Although probably they're not caring as much about the results as the Rangers fans are. Down by 11 here in the home 4th inning. And Delino DeShields, the leadoff man, will lead it off. He's walked twice in this game, and you forget way back when he had a leadoff walk against Chris Capuano in the 1st inning. That spurred the Rangers to a 5-run first. But since, it's been 16 runs for the Yanks, none for Texas. DeShields takes a strike. So we showed you earlier, Tom, that insane looking hot dog with cheddar and onions. Someone tweeted me and told me it's $26.
Is that true? $26. I'm sure they take credit cards.
We got it confirmed. So $26 plus your local Horizon Blue Cross plan on the way out the door.
Yeah.
So there you go.
$26, and the deductible is $5.
Right. Exactly. I have to be honest though, the nachos and the helmet made me hungry. They look really, really good. So DeShields down 0-2 here to Diego Moreno. Foul tip. Not caught. Diego Moreno very quietly, Tom, has settled in. I mean, he came in and got Capuano out of that 1st inning to get the final out, and he's only allowed 1 walk, and he's got 3 strikeouts so far in this short time in this game.
I like his mound presence too. I mean, he basically had traffic all over the bases first couple of innings. He came in, settled things down.
To right. Young broke back, but now he comes on in, and there's 1 away here in the 4th inning. So if you've just tuned in, hey, good to see you. Tom Verducci, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Yeah, it's been just a crazy game. I mean, offense all over the board. And, you know, from the Yankees perspective, there's this. They've been the best team in the major leagues in July, and on a game where, look, they were just trying to piece it together with the bullpen to be up 11. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the hottest team in baseball. You called it 15-5 in July coming into this game. There's no question. They have a stranglehold on this division right now. And I think the way that their bullpen is set up, they don't give away games that they do have in hand. So it's going to be very tough for anybody in the East to make up ground on this Yankee team. See the fly ball for the 2nd out. And for Texas, I mean, listen, I didn't think they were a contender in terms of adding pieces the way we've seen the Royals and Nationals and other teams do this week. They could make a trade that helps them down the line, but we're talking about a team that's pitching this month has absolutely cratered. The ERA coming in this month of this game was up near 6. I'm sure it's over 6 at this point. Not saying they're not going to make deals and add pieces that can help, but more pieces that might help next year more than this year.
There's talent on this team, and when you're talking about next year, as 2 outs for Adrian Beltre, they need pitching. But there's been a lot of rumors about them being in on the Cole Hamels talks, right? We were talking about this earlier, but it's not necessarily for now. It's if you think to next year, they certainly have offensive talent, and then you add just Hamels as an example, but Hamels, hopefully Derek Holland can come back and get healthy and be good. You Darvish come back, from the Tommy John, and then all of a sudden you're saying, well, wait a second, now it's looking a lot better.
Absolutely. And I talked to Derek Holland. He's going to go out on a minor league rehab beginning Thursday, probably make 3 or 4 starts and be back here. He feels real good about the shoulder and how he feels. Obviously, that's a key to the staff. And Martin Perez, we talked about his lack of command tonight, but that will come back in time.
Beltre pops up, should be the inning, and it is another impressive inning from Diego Moreno. 9 pitches there. All Yankees from Arlington tonight. We go to the 5th from Arlington. 16-5. Yankees over the Rangers after winning last night 6-2 and trailing 5-0 in the first. In this one, they've exploded back. 11 runs in the second, 4 in the third, and 1 on an error in the last inning. John Ryan Murphy has 1 for 3 with a single and a run score. That came in the epic second for the Yanks. Spelling Brian McCann tonight, 24-year-old catcher. Former 2nd-round pick for the Yankees. Has been a nice find for them.
You wonder in talking about the trade deadline whether the Yankees think about adding to the rotation. Well, about the bullpen. It's locked down good. But issues with Tanaka, obviously, in terms of his usage, always giving him extra days. Pineda hasn't pitched a full season. Sabathia's had his issues. It's been okay, but you can't say there's one sure thing in that rotation.
Yeah, I feel you. And, maybe for the first time in a while, as it's 0-2 to Murphy. Klein deals. That one's going to sail foul. You know, maybe for the first time in a while, Tom, the Yankees have top level prospects. And Luis Severino, pitcher, Aaron Judge, this monstrous 6'8" outfielder they have. But they don't want to get rid of those guys. They want to have them come here and help them next year.
Yeah, it's taken them a long time to build the system back up. They've done that. And I don't think Brian Cashman, the general manager, is of a mind to all of a sudden start parting with those resources and assets.
So that leads you to ask the question, if they don't, what exactly can they get back? But I hear you. There's a strikeout. So Murphy down on strikes to start the fifth. Game break time. To LA we go with Chris Myers.
Shortstop Gregorius.
Here's Gregorius, who's had a monster series so far. He's got a 3-run triple, a single, and 2 runs scored tonight. He had 3 for 4 with a homer and 4 RBIs, a career high last night. And he's loving coming to Globe Life Park. He takes down low. 2-0 Gregorius. So Chris is telling you about Price. He went 6 innings, allowed 5 runs on 7 hits. To take on the Tigers and their hard stance, saying that they're not going to be sellers.
Yeah, there's the standings right there, still below 500 this deep into the season.
Another base hit for Didi Gregorius. He's got 6 hits in this series already.
Now that is just a different ball player all the way around. Just oozing confidence. And in April, early May, base running, defense, hitting, all of it subpar. What I love, he busted this out of the box right away. That's a routine single in a wipeout game. He's taking nothing for granted on a 98-degree night. Yeah, all players should do that. But here's one that actually does. Love that approach.
He's starting to feel it. He's starting to be confident. Getting his confidence here at the plate. Ryan swinging for the moon. Why not? 16-5.
You know, that was one of the cool things about the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. Craig Biggio goes into the Hall of Fame, and I thought Brad Ausmus, his good buddy on those Houston teams, paid him the ultimate compliment. He talked about Craig Biggio running 90 feet every time. You're talking about a Hall of Fame player, even on ground balls back to the mound. And to me, there's no higher compliment. Robin Yount was the same way. You know, I once asked Cal Ripken, who are the players, who are the hitters who you know when a ground ball hits you, no matter the score, no matter the inning, are going to run hard 90 feet? He said Yount and Winfield.
On to second, double play attempt, no good. That was a nice turn by Odor. Nothing he could do there, so they get the force.
Kind of an awkward turn, actually, the way he tried to throw the ball while in the air. I guess he didn't have time to get the arms set before the feet leave the ground. And that looked like he double clutched a little bit.
That's what happened.
And couldn't get anything on it.
I thought live action, Tom, that he just had no choice because the runner was on him. I think he just didn't really have control.
And Gregorius is still playing the game hard. Look at him come in hard. He slides through the base.
The 2 down. Ryan on first. Back to the top of the order with Ellsbury, who takes upstairs for a ball. I'm sorry, as you were saying.
So you can't fool the middle infielders.
Right.
They know. Right there, Didi Gregorius just getting down the barrel of Odor at second base. As a middle infielder, run around first base, you look over there, you know who's going to peel off and who's going to come in hard. You know when you're back in the middle infield and a ground ball is hit, who's going to run hard 90 feet. And all of a sudden, that clock in your head is a little faster.
It's Odor. Rangers have had a tough game defensively tonight, among other things. 1-1 to Ellsbury. Outside. Watches that fastball. Think about the Yankees, Tom, and where they were just a couple days ago. they were trailing, what, 5-1 to Minnesota in the 7th inning on Saturday. They'd gotten beat up pretty good on Friday night. And then since, they've gone completely ballistic offensively. I mean, what, 30, is it 36 runs now? And that's in 25 2/3 innings.
I mean, you talk about 12-cylinder engine where all the cylinders are on point. It's their offense right now.
Ellsbury down on strikes, so Klein gets through the inning, his second strikeout in the frame. Bottom 5 we go, halfway home. 16-5, New York in front. (16-5). Yankees in front of the Rangers tonight. Game 2 of this 4-game series. Prince Fielder leads off the home 5th inning against Diego Moreno, who took over for Chris Capuano in the first and has been really good. Just a walk and 3 strikeouts since. He's totally shut down the Rangers attack. Until then, Fielder gets into one, but right at Young. And so there's one away. Hey, tomorrow, some of the greatest stars in the MLS and from around the world meet for one spectacular night as Clint Dempsey, David Villa, and Kaká compete for the MLS All-Stars against Tottenham Hotspur. It's the 20th annual MLS AT&T All-Star Game tomorrow at 8 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The summer of soccer is outside of Globe Life Park.
That was an all-star read of that promo, Kevin. I'm impressed.
May have practiced 45 times during the commercial break, Tom, but that's okay.
And speaking of impressed, you called it on Moreno. He's been excellent and he's been efficient. The length he's given Joe Girardi in this crazy game, well appreciated.
I mean, think about it, right? You call up a guy in this situation, you do it for insurance in case. But he's gone from picking you up and just giving you innings to now really pitching well and having a chance to pick up his first big league win here.
Not a young kid, turned 28 last week. The Yankees acquired him from Pittsburgh 3 years ago before the 2012 season. Trade for A.J. Burnett. One of 2 pitchers they got back in that deal. And here he is playing a big role. And bringing some normalcy to an otherwise nutty game.
Yeah. 2-1 the count to Elvis Andrews. And lost that one, so it's upstairs 3-1. Originally signed by the Pirates out of Venezuela and then was traded to the Yanks. Again, he was up here for a little bit earlier in the year. This is by far his biggest and most important action. Andrews gets in one, foul. I sit here and think about these Rangers, and you do baseball every day and you do games and whatever it is time, and we're always looking at stats, and some of them are superfluous and some of them you really just can't figure out. And tell me if you could figure out the Rangers home road splits, because it's so strange after the 3-2. And got him on the corner with 93 miles an hour. Nice pitch by Moreno when there's 2 down.
Yeah, Andrews shaking his head. Fletcher's been calling this pitch down and away. See, it may have come back and caught the plate, certainly high enough. And a nice job by Murphy to stick it. But yeah, I'm flummoxed about the home record here in this ballpark for this Texas team. Played very well on the road. There's the numbers right there. The second largest differential in the last 115 years.
It's one thing if they had if they were a little better on the road, but that is a stunning difference for a team that's only 4 games below 500.
I wish I could give you a reason, but
I don't know that there is
it
one.
defies one.
And this is a team that has been good here in the past.
And I know in their old ballpark too, the old Arlington Stadium, they had an incredible home field advantage. Of course, here in Texas, you have a lot of days like this. The temperature gets up above 100. They would have a big scoreboard in the outfield to keep track of the temperature. So all the visiting teams would come up here. They'd look during BP, 102, 103. And then what they did was they kept the visiting clubhouse as cold as a meat locker. So you would go inside after BP, freeze your butt off, and then go back out and play the game. And you'd have these wild temperature swings. I swear the visiting teams used to say, as a reminiscent, I don't know whether that's the same clock they used back at Arlington Stadium, but the same purpose. But the visiting teams would swear they would crank the AC on purpose in that clubhouse.
That, I believe it. Moreland softly to the right side. Brendan Ryan on the shift, throws him out. It's another 1-2-3 inning for the Yanks and for Moreno. Meanwhile, we come back. Alex Rodriguez, another big night. He's up for the Yanks. They're up big. Oof. Follow your favorite team and players all season with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat, up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. New pitcher for the Rangers. It's their 4th of the game. It's the right-hander Spencer Patton in to replace Phil Klein.
See that ERA touch high, only 15 in the 3rd innings.
Klein actually did a incredible job after Perez went 1+ and gave up 8 runs, and then Wandy Rodriguez went 1+ and gave up 7. He at least gave the Rangers 3 innings, and the 1 run he allowed was unearned. So at least got them here to the 6th inning, which a couple hours ago seemed like it would never come. But still it's 16-5 Yankees with Brett Gardner leading it off, and he takes outside. It's 2-0 on 90 miles an hour. Gardner has scored 3 runs tonight. He came into this game 4th in the league with 67 runs scored, so he's now at an even 70. He's also driven in 1 to continue on his terrific season.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I talked about the 12-cylinder engine here. But Ellsbury back healthy and back in the lineup, and Gardner is maybe the best 1-2 punch in baseball. At the top of the order, he gets on base another time.
So another leadoff walk. This time Patton is the guy to dish it out, and that'll bring up Alex Rodriguez. He's had another big game. He just missed a home run, a sharp line drive, a little low to left, but an RBI double.
And this guy's the most important piece of the engine. When he goes to spring training, the Yankees had no idea what to expect out of him. Opening day, he batted 7th.
Remember when he played first base? Think about that.
I was at that game, and let me tell you, that was not an oil painting.
No.
That was something he wanted to burn the tape.
Here, sorry.
You know, I asked him about that, though. This guy was a Gold Glove shortstop, all-star at third base 7 or 8 times, and he gave up the glove willingly and pretty easily. It's not an easy transition for guys to accept. And he said, listen, I know I can't play defense 130, 140 games a year. We're a better team with me DHing. I fully accept that. And that's how much he likes the DH role.
Takes that one right down the middle. And it's 1-1 Alex Rodriguez. Well, yeah, your point. I mean, most he ever DH'd in a year was 38 games. That was a couple years ago. He's more than doubled that already this year, and he's done it rather easily, and some have struggled with that. He checks his swing. And here's the thing. We've been talking about all these theories, Tom, and I said you wrote that great article today on Sports Illustrated. Another thing that I noticed is this. Fangraphs has a thing called a hard rate percentage, which they do a couple calculations and come up with, right? His hard hit percentage is 39% this year. What does that mean? I'll tell you this. The 3rd best of his career. So he's squaring up and hitting balls hard as good as he ever has at any point in his career. That's also pretty stunning.
I agree with you. It's the biggest surprise to me, the hard hit percentage. And the consistency of it. You know, he said, even when I had big years, I'd go through these 2-3 week stretches where I was kind of lost. And the harder I fought it, the worse I got. This year, he has not gone through those valleys. That bit of trivia.
3-2, and there's strike 3 calls. We took the fastball, looking for something else. He goes down. The crowd loves it, and Spencer Patton has his first strikeout.
Well, Andy Fletcher, we talked about all the pitches he's seen. He's probably going to get near 400 by the time the night's over. If that strike zone's gotten a little bigger, I don't blame him.
Oh, I think it's going to get even bigger. As a matter of fact, Teixeira the hitter, and he takes for strike 1. Just cap off that discussion about Rodriguez. We talked about 38 games DH was the most he'd ever done. 85th game DHing tonight. So Teixeira hits a cue shot, and it's quickly 0-2. Mark is the only Yankee starting without a hit tonight. He does have a walk and a run scored.
And, you know, people have to learn how to DH. You know, I know that sounds crazy, but when you've been a position player your whole life, and all of a sudden you're essentially pinch hitting 4 or 5 times a game, how do you fill the time in between those plate appearances?
Comes in and it hits Teixeira.
Well, we've seen some very good sliders from Patton. This one just heat-seeking missile to the right foot of Teixeira.
Chris Young up now. He's had quite the game, and StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services of this Grand Slam time.
That's right. We just don't admire home runs anymore. We break them down with the metrics. The exit velocity over 100. Essentially, not a real bomb. Good enough for 4 runs. Now, the average major league velocity off the bat about.
Look at this. He's got another deep drive going out to left, and this one is off the wall. Young's going to drive in another run. Chris Young, 2 doubles, a grand slam, 5 RBIs. It's 17-5 New York.
Just to finish the thought, the average velocity off the bat is about 88. This is another rocket getting up towards that 100-mile-per-hour range. How's that for a pretty good call? 100.5 was off by half a mile an hour.
That's pretty good. That's real good. Man, I mean, I know it's one of those games, if you're a hitter, you love it, but Chris Young has tattooed baseballs tonight, and that'll leave it up to Chase Headley. Headley tonight is 2 for 3, a couple of RBI singles. And everybody is hitting for the Yankees.
I think it's time to start getting people off the field. That's what Joe Girardi's doing.
Yep.
And have Garrett Jones run.
Mark
Teixeira get some ice on that foot.
Got to. Get the ice on the foot. No reason to keep him in at this particular score. So Garrett Jones will come in and run.
Yeah, tonight you might as well go for the whole ice bath.
You certainly could. This one is fouled back. So Teixeira is done. Walk, a hit by pitch, and a run.
And then he said, "Oh, gee," the ball hit his foot.
Something like that. 0-2 to Chase Headley with 1 down. And second and third, and Headley is punched out. Chase Headley down on strike. Second strikeout of the inning for Spencer Patton. And that'll bring up John Ryan Murphy. He's got a single today. 1 for 4 is the Yankee catcher. So now Garrett Jones, runner on third base. Chris Young off the second. Here we go. Patton delivers, strike 1. It really is hard to believe, going back and thinking 2 hours and 45 minutes ago, how this game started with the Rangers all over Chris Capuano. Chris couldn't find his control. It was 5-0, and you're thinking, man, what a start. And then the Yankees put together a half-hour inning with 15 batters and 11 runs.
Yeah, 5-0 lead. Martin Perez on the mound. Be interesting to see if Martin Perez talks about the break that he had for about a half hour before he went back out for the second inning, and if that affected him.
1-1 to Murphy. Just missed. It's 2-1. Yeah, look, you can't make an excuse. Obviously, he wasn't very good in that inning. He got a defensive miscue from Odor as well. That guy's been pretty good for the Yanks. Three and 1 as that misses outside. It's a real pressing question right now. That hot dog, which we've now talked about multiple times, has anyone finished it yet?
Well, we know they've had plenty of time with this game.
3-1 the count to the Yankees catcher. Big cuts, and the count goes full with Gregorius on deck. And that's a base hit to the right side. Jones scores. Chris Young going to score. It's a 2-run single for John Ryan Murphy. And the Yankees have added 2 more runs. 19-5.
Nice job of hitting. Hands inside the baseball. Good approach deep in the count. And the runs just keep on coming.
Yankees might want to cryogenically freeze some of this offense the way it's been going. It's the most runs they've scored since 2011 when they had a 22-run game. And they're not far away. Still going with Didi Gregorius, who's had a monster series. 3 hits and a homer last night with 4 RBIs. 3 hits and a triple tonight and 3 RBIs. Fantastic July. The updated numbers for him this month. He's up to .313 batting. For a guy that hit .206 in April in Derek Jeter's shadow, not bad. Not
It's
bad
amazing.
at all.
Brian Cashman's been all winter looking for a shortstop. There was not a lot to be had. This was the best that he did. And early in the season, people were wondering about Didi Gregorius. But we're seeing a completely different player. The body language just oozing confidence.
Oh, 2 here. Takes it inside. It's the kind of game it's been, for the Yankees. We just saw John Ryan Murphy deliver with runners on. So without runners in scoring position, they're 6 of 16 at the plate. With runners in scoring position, they're 11 of 18. Not only are they hitting with 17 hits, they're hitting with it every time somebody's on. This one popped into center, and Didi Gregorius has his 4th hit and 7th of the series. What an incredible 2 games for the Yankees shortstop.
Hotter than hot. Hits it hard, hits it soft, doesn't matter. They all fall. Well, it started last night, as you said, turning out a baseball, hitting it out to right field. Triples, left field, right field, up the middle. Just on everything. The hustle, well, that never goes away.
So he had a career high 4 RBIs last night. He's got a career high 4 hits tonight. And what does tomorrow bring for Didi Gregorius?
I mean, this guy was hitting .206 in late May. And really wasn't playing defense well, wasn't running the bases well. But give him credit, he's put in the work. Turned out to be a very good player for the Yankees all around.
Spencer Patton has had a rough inning in his first inning of relief. And he's got Brendan Ryan now with 2 down and 2 on. Over his head as Ryan ducks out of the way. Brendan's got a couple doubles, 3 RBIs. Watch this.
Yeah, that's a slider that doesn't slide. Gonna slip right out of the hand. Limbo time.
Cut and a miss, and it's 1-1 to the second baseman tonight. Sam Freeman, former Cardinal left-hander, pitched last night. Warman. We'll see him and probably anyone else who has a Texas jersey who can pitch on the rest of this one. As we play in the 6th, 19-5 Yankees.
You know, there's a lot of people in the stands wearing a Texas jersey. Are they eligible?
I'm not ruling them out. 2-1 to Ryan. 93 miles an hour, a little late, and it's 2-2.
It always cracks me up. If you ever been to the U.S. Open, the tennis event, it's a great event. It always cracks me up that people show up in their tennis outfits. I mean, like if Sharapova comes up with a quad and can't make the match, they take volunteers out of the stands.
I think
good thing I wore my outfit, my tennis whites.
You haven't worn, say, skates to a hockey game before?
Never done that. Haven't seen that.
That is true. It is a great event, and I have seen that there as well.
Hey, I got the racket in the trunk of the car.
I mean, you never know. Fans hanging out. I have a feeling when they close the concessions, it might thin out a little bit here at Globe Life Park. Show the temperature before 91. It's actually not bad. It was 98 at the start of the game, and when the sun's out, that's a rough one.
Well, this guy's restringing his own glove. He's tightening that up.
He's into it.
Glove doctor.
He's got the blue glove too, the blue T-ball special, Tom. 2-2 the count to Ryan, who tomahawks one down the left field line and foul. So at least you get some souvenirs down there.
And believe it or not, Lorenzo Cain, the great Gold Glove. I don't think he's won a Gold Glove. I think he's a Gold Glove outfielder for the Royals. His first glove he got in high school was one of those gloves. He got it at like Walmart, and it had a crease in the middle of the glove so that, you know, kids can close on the ball easily. That was his first glove. He didn't play until he was 16 years old.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he played late and was late to the game, but that was his first glove.
He got cut from the basketball team, and his mom wouldn't let him play football. So he walked into the JV baseball coach's office and said, I want to try out. I said, did you ever play? He said, no. Showed up for the tryout wearing basketball shoes, jeans, and a collared shirt.
By the way, it's worked out.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, he's been all right. Pitch on the way, and Ryan goes down on strikes, angered at himself. And the inning comes to a close. Yankees tack on another 3. Head on down to Dallas. All Yanks tonight. Yankees on a Tuesday night edition, Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1. Glad you could join us tonight. It's been a wild affair, that's for sure. Along with Tom Verducci, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. John Moore, our director, Pete Machesko, our producer tonight. Texas scored 5 in the first, and we're off and running against Chris Capuano, but the Yankees, well, they've scored 19 unanswered. That happens all the time in baseball.
19 unanswered points. What a run.
It's crazy. So here's Ryan Rua, who's quickly down 0-2 to Diego Moreno, who has been, quite honestly, fabulous since he took over for Capuano to end the first inning. Since he hasn't allowed a Ranger hit.
I can't recall too many pitches that the Rangers have squared up. He's going right after hitters, working ahead almost constantly in this game.
And he punches out Rua here. 5th strikeout for Moreno. And there's one away here in the 6th. Game break time to L.A. Chris Myers, what do you got for us, pal? All right, Chris, look forward to that. That'll come after the game. A ton going on. A couple more trades today as well as Shin Soo Choo, the batter. And meanwhile, here we go with Moreno, telling you about the job that he's done. Well, it's been pretty incredible. He had, what, 2 innings of Major League experience coming into this game, and that was earlier this year. He's got 4 2/3, no hits, 5 strikeouts tonight. Tough play. Murphy out there quickly, 2 down.
I mean, this is the longest outing of the year for him. Again, he wanted to stretch him out just for this purpose, as someone who could come up and fill out a long man role in the bullpen. Really, the last 3 starts, his longest outing was 4 innings.
In his minor league career, he has 304 strikeouts in 288 2/3 innings. So he has gotten plenty of strikeouts in his long tenure in the minors, but it's pretty impressive. And, you know, it's not like he came in when it was 10-0 Yanks. He came in and it was 5-0 Texas. And has held the fort.
Well, that was a fire drill going on in this game, and all of a sudden he brought order to the proceedings.
Yeah, he sure did. Chirinos is the batter, and he takes outside. And so it's 2-0 to the Rangers catcher. 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. He's get some action in the pen. They got him warming up there. That's the initial plan. Maybe get Chris Capuano to give you a few, give Warren a few, and then get you to the 7th to take it from there. Instead, Diego Moreno has done the heavy lifting. 28-year-old rookie. Probably see Warren in the 7th. Big cut and a miss, and it's 2-2 to Chirinos. As Moreno at 69 pitches could be firing his last in what would be a tremendous performance.
Unbelievable. He had no drop off in his stuff at all.
2-2 pitch to right. Young's there, makes the catch, and the inning is over. What a job by Diego Moreno. Rangers haven't gotten a hit off him since he came in the first inning in relief. Yankees offense have gotten plenty of hits. It's 19-5. They're up. Anaheim. Delano DeShields goes from center to left field now. And Leonis Martin started last night. Pretty much lost his job to DeShields. Comes on to play center. And then at first base, Ryan Rua, who was in left, goes over to first. So Mitch Moreland is now out of the game. And another pitcher for the Rangers. Make it number 5 of the night. It's the veteran lefty Sam Freeman, who pitched last night as well.
One of the rare lefties that throws a split-fingered fastball.
Colby Ellsbury swinging at the first pitch, and a chance for Martin. One pitch, one away. Freeman last night pitched an inning, allowed 1 hit, just 12 pitches though. That kid is, well, he's not a kid, he's 28 years old, but Diego Moreno, congratulations to you, because you're on the hook for your first major league win. Look at that sparkling performance.
5 1/3, no hits. Now, it's one of only 10 relief outings in Yankee history of that length with no hits allowed. And if he gets the W, one of only 3. The last Yankee reliever to pitch at least 5 1/3, no hits, and get the W, Tom Morgan in 1956. Wow. You just don't see relief pitching in general. Guys last that long in today's game. And to do it that well for that long, exceptional. What a night.
So if you combine last night when Nova's start got cut short because his arm was a little tender, and then tonight when Capuano lasted just 2/3 of an inning, Yankees bullpen this series, 9 1/3 innings, no hits.
That's pretty good.
That's all right.
That's pretty good. Capuano back on the bench.
One and two the count to Gardner. Takes outside and low. 2-2 to Brett Gardner tonight. Scored 4 more runs. 2 hits, an RBI, 2 walks. 71 runs scored on the year already, and we're not even into August yet. Catalyst galore, and then some.
And here he is grinding through another at bat. Nothing changes.
Down low, count goes full.
Another full count. He only knows one way. Doesn't matter if it's 0-0 or 19-5. He's not going to give up an at bat.
Three-two on the way, and kind of a half swing foul. Gardner stays alive. Astros on top of the Angels 10-5 now. So Houston has come back in that game, looking to tie up the American League West.
They actually have a very similar MO to the Yankees. Hit a ton of home runs.
They do.
Great bullpen.
And Gardner, so good at being patient, draws the walk. Well, we mentioned it, tonight's player of the game, fueled by Gatorade, it's got to be Diego Moreno, despite all the offense. His saving job out of the bullpen.
Exactly what you expected, right? The game with Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, Prince Fielder.
And 19 runs. I mean, the game could have been completely different if he didn't do what he did. I mean, yeah, the Yankees put 11 on the board in the second to change the equation, but he immediately sniffed it out. Alex Rodriguez has a double and a single tonight and an RBI. 2 more runs scored. Facing the lefty Freeman, and he takes that one down low. Gardner on first, 1 down in the top of the 7th inning.
Well, again, the Hall of Fame, what great speeches and induction ceremonies on Sunday. I have to go back to that again with Pedro Martinez, reminiscent 1999 Game 5 ALDS against Cleveland. That was another game where runs and runners all over the place. And no hit relief. Everything stopped when he walked into that game.
Remember that. That was some performance against that potent Cleveland lineup outside, as Rodriguez now has the count at 3-1. Notice, by the way, the White Sox won today 9-4, and they were pretty much an afterthought, and now they're right in the mix. I mean, there's a bunch of teams in that wild card race, and they still have a way to go, but they're in it. And that's inside for a ball and a walk to A-Rod. Let's get a game break. Check back in with a very busy Chris Myers. Chris, I hope they're feeding you back there.
First baseman Gary Jones.
You're the best, Chris. Thanks. So there you go. So the Pirates trying to gain some ground, as you heard there. Blanco's hitting now too for them. He was struggling for a lot of the year.
There was some talk that Pittsburgh may go out and get Justin Upton or a bat for that outfield, but you're absolutely right. What a talented player he is. So the whip around, they come on after us, right? Do we get to watch a whip around after this?
Whenever that may be.
Yeah, well, I'll bring the bagels. You bring the coffee.
Exactly. Whip around and omelets. With Chris Raoul, CJ, and JP Morosi. By the way, this is Garrett Jones. Remember, he came on a pinch run for Mark Teixeira, who took a slider off the foot. So Jones with his first at bat tonight, and he fouls it straight back. I didn't get the impression that Mark was necessarily hurt. Maybe a good time just to get him out with a score and put some ice on that foot.
Absolutely. I think that's an abundance of caution.
Oh-2 here. Still one out. Runners on seemingly all the time for the Yankees tonight. And there's a strikeout. It gets him on the inside corner, and Freeman's got 2 down. That'll bring up Chris Young, and what a night it's been for Chris Young. A grand slam, 2 doubles, and a career high 5 RBIs. That's upstairs. You know, for Young, Tom, I mean, Carlos Beltran was hurt, and he's played so well, you can't get Beltran back in against left-handers anymore.
Yeah, absolutely not. And obviously a big upgrade defensively with Young over Beltran.
1-1 to Chris Young. Carlos right now is in there against the righties, and Chris is in there against the lefties, and it's a formula that's working pretty well. Left side for Andrews. And that throw almost went wide. They won't be saving the defensive reels from this one, that's for sure, but they get out of the inning. There you go. So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 19-5 Yankees. second to third base. Chase Headley is out. Stephen Drew off the bench to play some second. And the Yankees also have a new pitcher after the marvelous performance from Diego Moreno. Adam Warren now is on the pitch.
Here's a guy who thought maybe we'd be saying him in the third or fourth inning, assuming Capuano got that far. Of course, those plans changed, and Diego Moreno picked up 16 outs in this game. Much more comfortable spot for Adam Warren.
Yeah, Warren's been excellent this year. I mean, really, when Ivan Nova came back from the disabled list, he's the one that got bumped, and he was arguably their best starting pitcher, but he's also been so good in relief in recent years. So he's back in the bullpen now and also flourishing there again. So here he is in the pitch, so versatile. And to the top of the Texas order as we play the bottom of the seventh inning, 19-5. Delino DeShields takes down low. So it's 1-1 to DeShields. And that one is tap foul from Delino, who walked twice in the first inning of this game and has only had one other at bat since. That's a rarity.
That's hard to do.
That's really hard to do. He's only 22. Will be 23 on August the 16th. He's a former Houston Astros minor league player of the year, but they exposed him in the Rule 5 draft. Was a second baseman. Went to the fall league to learn the outfield, and he's played pretty well here. And he's found a home at leadoff for the Rangers. And yes, his father is Delino DeShields. You remember him, Expos Dodgers. He's traded, of course, for Pedro Martinez in 1993.
You know he's got a nickname, Delino DeShields. This Prince Fielder is the king of the nicknames. If you're in that clubhouse for more than 5 minutes, Prince will give you a nickname.
What's his?
Snacks. He says he's never seen anybody who eats as much as Delino at that size.
I was going to say, he's not a big guy. Warren pitches. Delino DeShields hits deep to left. Gardner retreats. Nice play. Our Bud game summary looks like this. A lot of runs. 19 of them for the Yankees, their most since August of 2011. Chris Young, career high 5 RBIs, a grand slam. Didi Gregorius has 7 hits in the series. He's been crazy. And yeah, Diego Moreno, who, you ask? He was called up before the game as an insurance policy, a starter in AAA. He was more than insurance tonight. He was great. And he's in line to get his first big league win. Now it's on Adam Warren's shoulders, but Adam has a 14-run cushion to work with as Rougned Odor dances out of the way. Odor 0 for 3 tonight for these Rangers.
I actually lost count of how many Yankee runners have been on base. It's approaching 30, but in a game like this, Diego Moreno is the star of the game. The best Yankee relief performance in 59 years.
Realistically, when you put a game like this together, when you're the manager, you're thinking, okay, I've got to save my arms. Pineda tonight. Pineda's never really pitched through a full season either, and you need those guys in the postseason. So you're just thinking, hey, get me through this. Let's see what happens. And then you get an absolute gem from a guy you didn't know 15 hours ago. I know he was here for 2 innings early in the year, but let's be real.
Yeah, no, this is found money, because we talked about the fact that this game, not that you ever, really want to pass a game away, but they did skip Tanaka to give him an extra day, that 5th day of rest in between his starts. And, you put the game in the hands of Capuano, a pitcher who's thrown only 80 pitches in this month, just hasn't been out there a lot. I figure you'll have to patch it together with multiple relief pitchers. Betances, Wilson, both not available tonight. And Diego Moreno just saves the day.
Down at first, Garrett Jones over to Warren, and there's 2 down. Well, hey, if you're thinking of your Rangers fan, you're down 14 in the 7th inning. There's hope, Tom Verducci. I take you back to 2007. The Orioles were up 3-0. And then this onslaught occurred. What was I saying? For the Yankees, 19 unanswered points going into my football mode. Well, the Rangers had 30 unanswered runs. 30.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm telling you, there's a chance.
If I remember correctly, one of the Ranger pitchers got a save in that game.
They absolutely did.
Got
they
a
pitched
save
3 innings.
protecting a 27-run lead.
We got to find that. We got to find who that was. Mitch, you got to get on that. And despite 33 runs, the game was 3 hours and 21 minutes. You would think it would be like 6 hours long.
Sure.
It's unbelievable. Here's Beltre. 1-1 to Adrian Beltre.
Wes Littleton, we're being told. I don't have that name on my head, Kevin. Got the save in that game.
How do you think he tells that story?
That's the most bogus save in the history of baseball.
To the old, the grandkids down the line. Listen, it's a crazy game.
Stress innings.
Only up 27.
You never know. Anything can happen in baseball. No lead is safe.
What in the world is going on?
And we've got to that point, ladies and gentlemen. We're being entertained by a horse with a spider on a string.
These things happen in a 19-5 game. That's cool. Kids are entertained.
You can hear them all the way up here.
By the way, how about some kudos for being in the mascot uniform in Texas?
I better have some AC inside of that.
Not enough ice vests you can wear. 1-2 to Beltre, 2 down. We play in the home 7th in Texas. Warren deals. Poke to first. Garrett Jones all by himself, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Adam Warren with the Yankees up by 14. I said 14. We are back in Texas. It has been, well, it's been a long night, that's for sure. Been a crazy, wild game with runs galore. And Rangers have gone to the bullpen. Tanner Scheppers, 28-year-old, is now their new pitcher. Stephen Drew gets his first at-bat of the game. He came in the last inning for defense as Chase Headley came out. So Drew in there, and he takes a strike. There is Scheppers, big guy, and he's had some struggles of late. He's got a whip of 1.5, fastball in the mid-90s, curveball. And Tom, it's not just him. We talked earlier in the game about this Texas pitching staff, but their bullpen as a whole has really, really struggled. They've given up the most home runs. They haven't found combination out there. They thought he was one, but he struggled this month.
And Kevin, this is the time of year, right around the 100-game mark, where if you're not getting length from your starting pitching, it doesn't matter how good your bullpen is. The wear and tear begins to show up about this time of year. The dog days certainly from pitchers.
Drew down to first. And he's retired here in the 8th. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Every night on every device, visit MLB TV for details. Big fan of pitch tracking widgets myself. All right, John Ryan Murphy is up. He got into the party last at bat with a 2-run single. He's got a couple hits tonight.
You know what I've noticed the last couple of innings? Nobody's eating in the stands anymore. I think they cleaned the place out. I think 86 the hot dogs, 86 the nachos.
They
cupboard's bare.
They very possibly did. Oh, well, there's
some
left.
leftover. What is that? Cotton candy?
Looked like, though, had that one stowed away, knowing the concession stands would be closed after 7, so it was stowed away properly for the 8th.
That could be some contraband cotton candy.
That's great. Great shot, guys. 2-1 to Murphy, and it's low and away. Just barely hanging on. It's a little low, and that is a walk to Murphy. Well, hey, you want to know why the Yankees have a 7-game lead in the AL East? Tom, the recipe has been pretty simple for them, really.
Yeah, jump out ahead. Again, that 1-2 combination of Gardner and Ellsbury. And, of course, the power in the middle. We're going back to 2009 with that 3-4 combination. How about the end of the game? Look at the opponent's average against. I mean, essentially, these guys come into the game, and they turn your offense into, it's like sending a pitcher up to the plate every time.
It's unbelievable. It really is what they've been able to do with Betances and Miller. Gregorius first pitch swinging. Lazy fly ball. And there's 2 now.
Stop the presses.
Made an out.
They got him out.
So Gregorius finally retired. Had a career night with 4 hits, 3 RBIs tonight, 7 RBIs in the series. So now it's Brendan Ryan. He's had some fun tonight. Had a couple of doubles. One of them, which probably should have been a double play. You don't hear that often. One of them should have been a double play, and it was a double. It's a strange play in the 2nd inning. Yankees had this 2nd inning where they scored 11 runs after they're down 5-0 in the 1st, and Martin Perez clearly had lost it in the 2nd, but Ryan comes up and hits one to second. Should have been 2, and instead Odor for some reason went the other way, and the rally continued. Meanwhile, there's no rally here. Flies out to center. Yankees strand 1, up plenty in Arlington. Bottom 8 we go. A lot of runs tonight. Bottom 8. It's 19-5. The Yankees looking to take the first 2 games of this series. Looking to go 16-5 in the month of July. Best record in the big leagues. Adam Warren's second inning of relief. Prince Fielder leads it off. Fielder tonight 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Got a piece of it. Gregorius is there to clean it up. 1-6-3. Hey, Saturday, MLB returns to Fox Sports 1 with the Freeway Series. Mike Trout and the Angels take on Adrian Gonzalez and the Dodgers. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And I read a baseball promo, and there's also the MLS All-Star Game tomorrow, Tom. There's a lot going on Fox Sports 1. That is tomorrow night. So we're trying to tell you just to leave it on this channel.
You did such a good job the first time reading that MLS All-Star promo. We want an encore performance.
I figured that. And by the way, don't forget, Chris Myers and our friends are waiting around for MLB Whip Around right after the game. There's a ton going on today. Highlights, JP Morosi in for the trade stuff. Raul Ibanez and CJ Nikowski, if they're still awake, we'll have that show for you. And you and I will scour Arlington for some place open that will still serve us some food.
So how about Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire? Somebody better take care of him after this game.
Where are we now? We're in the 340s pitch-wise, aren't we? For Fletcher, as Andrews takes a hefty cut. 343. That's the amount of pitches that man, Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, has called tonight.
That's wearing all that gear. The game that started in the 90s. It's probably cooled off all the way to about 91 right now. It's done a nice job back there, too.
Yeah.
And just in case there's any trouble, we've got Jordan Baker, the first base umpire, at 6'7". The tallest umpire in Major League Baseball.
Hey, that's what I was talking about. The Angels and Dodgers on Fox Sports 1 on
You did mention
Saturday.
that, yeah.
Got a lot of runs to log, and sometimes the machines, they're like the old typewriter. You got to punch them in, and stuff's a little behind, you know. So there we go. We got it all for you. Trying to catch you up. There's Martin, came in the game for defense, hasn't batted yet, but he will. Right after this, as Andrews is thrown out. And now we'll get Leonis Martin against Adam Warren with 2 down, bases empty. Martin has basically lost his center field job to Delino DeShields. He did start last night and had a nice defensive game last night. He robbed Mark Teixeira potentially of a home run. He threw out Teixeira at the plate, and that led to a little outrage from Teixeira at his third base coach Joey Espada for sending him there and telling him to ease up. But nonetheless, Martin getting in the game late here tonight. And ripping it right away, right to Drew. Quick, painless, efficient from Adam Warren.
Can't wait to see who pitches the next inning. Here he comes. Surprise.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, it should be fun. Position player time. Come on down to the mound in Arlington. Adam Rosales, you're up, my friend. Pitching Adam Rosales for the second time this year on the mound. And he is because it's 19-5 Yankees.
Okay, the Yankees have sent 54 batters to the plate. 31 have reached base. The Rangers staff has not had a 1-2-3 inning all night. I'm calling 1-2-3 right here, Adam Rosales.
That is gutsy. I'm going to take the over on that one. But we'll see. Ellsbury.
Oh, he's pulling the string on him.
Didn't see that one coming. 75. Gardo's maybe giving him some tips out here. That was 67, by the way. You know, it's got to be crazy, right? Because as a player, here's Ellsbury. You got to be thinking, man, I'm just going to sit back and hit one to the upper deck. So it's actually probably hard in some way. Sure, try to hit it as far as you can.
Oh, he's shaking.
Oh. And he's got himself. What happened there?
Another
catcher interference again.
This has got to be a record.
This is something. Well, we started the game like that. Might as well end it like that.
Is the second time it's happened with two different catchers, the same batter.
Tomas Talis is in there now with Robinson Chirinos, who started. That's amazing. The same guy in the same game.
He's a back foot hitter, Ellsbury. That barrel stays behind him a long time. I've never seen that before.
That's unbelievable. To the same player. That's how the game started, with a catcher's interference to Ellsbury, and here we are on the ninth. And he's got another catcher's interference. That's just nuts. Here's Gardner now, taking a hack. It's 1-1. Clearly,
no doubt about that.
Not even close. Tom, it looks like the 1-2-3 inning ain't happening right here. Good guess, though.
I really went on a limb right there. I know.
Good guess. That wasn't Rosales' fault by any means. Meanwhile, it's 1-2 to Brett Gardner, who the Rangers can't keep off base. He's been on base 5 times tonight, walked 3, 2 singles, RBI, scored 4. That's a little upstairs.
And he might just get to another full count. And he has seen a week's worth of pitches just tonight.
He really has.
And of course.
Looks like Rosales is almost trying to throw the ephus or something. He's not even throwing fastballs now. I don't know what he's trying to throw. There's one, and Gardner fouls it off.
You know, it's a rare guy a position player coming in, shaking signs and actually throwing a variety of pitches. And the fastball is really not bad. That one at 87, we saw 92.
Gardner gets into one, deep right, and gone. Yankees have hit 21.
It's good in Vegas, and it's good in Arlington. 21.
Gardner's only scored 5 runs tonight. Since there were 2 outs in the first inning, think about this for those of you who just flipped on the channel and you see it's a blowout as Alex Rodriguez steps into some light boos. Since there were 2 outs in the first inning, here's what's happened since. The Rangers don't have a hit, and the Yankees have 19 hits and 21 runs.
It's amazing. They've put 33 batters on base. 21 have scored.
Everybody wants to grab a bat now. 2-1. And it's inside 3-1. 5 runs by Gardner tonight, by the way. That's a career high, a new career high. And the count goes full to Rodriguez. Upstairs, ball 4. Adam Rosales pitched June 26th at the Blue Jays. It was 11-2 Toronto. And then that happened. Danny Valencia gone. But he did get Josh Donaldson out. So he got Edwin Encarnacion out too. Even had a little Louis Tion tilt there. By the way, this is hit very, very deep. Martin! He made the catch! Oh, wow! Second night in a row, Leonis Martin makes a fabulous catch in center field. Nicely done. Eric Jones robbed.
Well, what an outstanding play. The athleticism by Martin. First of all, to get back in time, and then the timing of the jump. I didn't think it was going out, but what a fantastic play by Martin.
That's a great play. Here's Chris Young, career high 5 RBIs tonight, including a grand slam. Eric Jones is like, come on. Young. That one I think will get to the stands, and it does. That's the thing about Martin, though. You know, he's got these defensive tools, and you know there's some gifts in there, but offensively, it hasn't shown itself, and that's why he's lost his job to DeShields. Came in tight to Young. 1-2 to Chris Young. Make that one out here in the 9th. And now there's 2 as Young takes strike 3.
Well, we'll hear about that. This looks like, I'm not sure, a slider, change, curve, change it. You call it whatever you want. Off speed pitch, caught looking.
Looked like it was almost spinning like slider-ish, didn't it?
At
But
71.
I don't know what it was.
Your guess is as good as mine, but
that one's ripped by
this is
Drew.
Commissioner Manfred's favorite pitcher, Adam Rosales. Talk about pace of game. Get the ball and go.
Another foul by Drew, who came in and got in a bat in the 8th, grounded out to first base. That's Gardner's shot, his 11th of the year. Second Decker. And Drew to center, deep but playable. Martin makes the catch, and the inning is over. But the Yankees add more. They've got 21 on the board. They'll try and close out the Rangers. Brett Gardner, his 11th home run. He's scored 5 times. All Yanks tonight in Texas. Adam Warren trying to finish this thing off. 21-2 Yankees. It's been an unbelievable 21-5, excuse me. Partly seeing things wrong myself. The Rangers, of course, put a 5 in that first inning. And then the Yankees 21 runs since. Everybody really has contributed tonight. Diego Moreno, the unsung hero that you probably will forget about this game. 5 1/3 innings, no hits. 5 strikeouts just called up today in the bullpen game. And Rua, a little cue ball to first. Jones to Warren. And there's one away. Hey, you can follow your favorite team and players all season with MLB.com at Bat. The #1 app for live baseball. At Bat up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. MLB.com at Bat. Get it now. Rangers down to the final 2 outs. Shin-Soo Choo is the hitter. And an RBI double way back in that first inning. Never did think that the Rangers would send 11 batters to the plate in the first time and then not get a single hit the rest of the day, did you?
No, he knocked the starting pitcher out, the opposing team, in the first inning, sit on a 5-0 lead. And blackjack, 21. 60 plate appearances. There's Capuano. He was gone in the first inning, the Yankee starter. Yankees sent 60 batters to the plate, starting off Martin Perez, Rangers starter. 34 of them reached base. 21 of them scored. I mean, that's slow pitch softball numbers. 34 of the 60 batters who came up got on base.
Two down. Reminder, tune in tomorrow on Fox Sports Southwest, and yes, for the 3rd game of this series. Coverage begins 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. It's Masahiro Tanaka against Kobe Lewis. I'd like to thank our friends at both those networks for letting us jump on in here for game 2. It's been a crazy game, but it's been fun, Tom. It's been a lot of action here tonight.
It's been a lot of fun. And these are your true fans sticking around here. The home team down by 16 in the 9th. They're still here.
Tomas Talis, who came in to replace Robinson Chirinos, getting his first at bat here. Down the Rangers down to their final out. True fans and probably some Yankee fans too, making the trip to Dallas to see their team. 1-1 to Talis. And the Rangers down to their final strike. Think back. You follow a team all year long like you do, and there's always narratives. You know, there's games every day, right? And you think back about the Yankees on the road and their offense not being the same on the road. And then ever since Friday night in Minnesota, they have gone crazy. Pitch, jam, cue shot to third, Ryan in, and the ball game's over. And the Yankees take care of the Rangers 21-5. Here tonight from Arlington. 19 hits for the Yanks. And an unbelievable performance in a game. They were down 5, 2 outs into the game. Everybody helping out. Chris Young with a career high 5 RBIs. And the Yankees win it 21-5. That's our final score. Coming up next on Fox Sports 1 is MLB Whip Around with Chris Myers and our friends back in L.A. We'll catch up on all the stuff going on around the league. For Tom Verducci and our entire Fox Sports 1 crew, I'm Kevin Burkhardt saying so long from Arlington. The Yankees have won the first 2 games here over the Rangers. Enjoy MLB Whip Around. We'll see you next time. So long.